Welcome in and good to have you on this particular day. Beautiful day, as a matter of fact, and kind of trying to get everything in before we come in. Nicely standing building. Welcome to the Michael Show, and we went one night last night. Everybody here today, celebrities, golfers, the kids are here today, all the charity benefactors are here today, and it looks to be spectacular. A little breezy, but other than that, it's a good day for everyone to get out and enjoy themselves, and it's going on. It always is. We had a great time yesterday. Got a chance to get out next yesterday. Myself, definitely. And just a spectacular. We talked about this time again. If you're a bucket lister and you like to play all these tremendous courses and maybe hit the gems, this is one of them. I've said this for a long time. So if you ever get a chance to play Turtleback golf course, it's an absolute opportunity for the state of Wisconsin. Brewers losers yesterday, unfortunately, and now this is another series that they have lost. And now they are off. I should say off, but now St. Louis comes to take, and hopefully they can gain some games back, man. Just start beating up a little bit from the Cardinals, get it from the Cubs, and then get into that Cubs series down in Chicago, and maybe some good things will happen. But right now, it's kind of, you take 2 steps forward and you take 1 step back, and it's just, it hasn't necessarily been.
The celebrities are on the deck, they were up on the other round, about 5 minutes, we're going to start here. Celebrities to the deck, please.
And game Brown on the Cubs, and give it 2 or 3 games. You have to say that. For 2 reasons. One is the Brewers take 2 steps forward and take 1 step back, and the Cubs just keep on winning. And that's really part of the problem. So the Cubs can get in, and the Brewers take a loss, and everything just kind of remains the same. By the way, if we can hold this by all means, all right. So 877-867-867-867-1670. Also, text line 608. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There is you sit there and start low. You can find us over on TikTok, over on X @Bill_Michaels, @Bill_Grant, at Whisper Grant. You can also find me down there. You can find us on the ATAG Bill Michaels Show. Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app, don't forget, on a Saturday night at 8 o'clock Central Time, live TV. And then after I'll find it. You don't feel that well. So as we sit here today, Brad Bills, how you doing, man? I did. You got that right. How you doing? I mean, like 30 seconds. Wow. Everything shut off. So get back. Don't worry. Get back. Oh, it's going to be here. We're sitting in a looking at this, man, I'll tell you this, it is frustrating if you are a Brewers fan right now. It is frustrating. Look, I know that where things are, that, you know, man, it's you'd love to see it, and we should be back. On camera at the moment, so we should be back on, and hopefully we are. Anyway, it's frustrating because, man, the Brewers is every time. I mean, it's not like the Cubs are running away with it. That's the best part about it, is the Cubs aren't running away and hiding, and the Cubs are giving you opportunities. The problem is that you've gone on this downturn at the same time they've gone on the downturn, and you got hot when they got hot. And, you know, I guess thankfully that the Cubs aren't winning and running away with it. You're still 5.5 games back after, what, 2-3 weeks? You went on this great run. You had all these wins, and then you turn around, you lose a couple of series, and you're exactly the same spot you were, maybe a game better, going back to almost now 3.5 weeks ago. So it's painfully heartbreaking right now if you're a Brewers fan, because you think to yourself, but where we could have been, and we're not. And that's part of the problem right now. Anyway, that being said, I'm glad that they're only 5.5 games back. I'm glad the Cardinals are coming to town on a little bit of a downturn, and hopefully the Brewers can get at least 3 out of 4. But please, whatever you do, don't lose the series. You know, at least get 2. But if you can get 3 out of 4, that would be fantastic. You sweep the series, and we're all giddy all over again. And by the way, I did not check between last night and this morning. Is there any additional news on Yelich that you saw?
Nothing on Yelich. The Brewers, I guess, are moving Savali to the bullpen, which we talked about yesterday, but nothing on Yelich yet. Okay, so nothing there in that sense, which is good. I mean, right now, no news is good news, I guess, for lack of a better term. But as long as he is not ailing, then that's fantastic. So anyway, to everybody in the live stream, there you go. The sound is back. We finally got the plugs put back in after the wind incident, so we should be good there. A lot of loud behind me, and as you're watching on the live stream, a lot of faces, a lot of celebrities, a lot of former Packers and Brewers and Vikings and Twins and celebs, and it is just I think there's like 45 celebrities here. that are here today. You got some Hall of Famers. You got Dave Robinson here. You got a guy that's won numerous championships, and a guy like Marv Fleming from years gone by. Frankie Winters is here. We saw Jerry Augustine here today. You got Gumby is here. Jim Gantner. It's just, you can go on and on. Ken Sanders, the Bulldog, who, Kenny, great to see him again. Kenny's going to be 84 years old and still out here playing golf and getting it done and having fun. And, man, good to see Kenny as well. And so just a lot of celebrities here. It is a very windy day, and I think at some point in this program today, once all these guys get off the stage, we might end up moving downstairs because the wind is really kicked up and it's getting kind of tough to hold everything together up here, to be honest with you. So we'll probably end up doing that if it doesn't die down a little. But I know the storms are coming, and they said there might be some wind with it prior to. And it's one of those things, Grant, where they gave me this umbrella. They're like, hey, here, this is gonna be great. And yesterday was fine, but it's not attached to anything. It's just like stuck in the table, so it's wiggling all over the place. And they said, well, here, we'll put a base on it. Well, it just slides into the base. It's not attached to the base, so every time the wind blows, it just lifts up. And the only reason you don't have a camera on me right now is because I'm sitting here with both hands holding this thing down, because if it takes off, it's going to kill one of the celebrities.
It's going to take all of your gear with it
everybody.
too.
It'll take everything. It'll take the cameras. It'll fly right into the face of the celebrities because they're literally right behind me. So anyway, that's why sometimes, everybody thinks it's glamorous, and it can be, but I am my own roadie and I'm my own boat anchor right now, to be perfectly honest with you. So,
yeah, you need the weighted umbrella base. You can't just tuck that thing in there, or it's going to fly away and end up on some roof somewhere.
Right, exactly. I won't end up on a roof. Just a little while ago, right before we went on the air, it took off, and right behind me, where you see all the celebrities, there was nobody sitting there. And it took off and flew and knocked all those chairs over. So I can only imagine what it's going to do to some of these guys that don't move around as well as they once did. And if it comes flying right at them, it'll be like a satellite dish hitting them in the face. So I don't want that. So anyway, that being said, we're out here at the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Outing in Turtleback Golf Course, a beautiful golf course. And he just got introduced, Eddie Lacy. Eddie Lacy, for all the pictures, I thought Eddie'd be a little bit bigger between you and me. I thought he looks like, don't get me wrong, big dude. But I thought he'd be a little bit bigger. He must have quit eating the Chinese food or something like that, because he's not as big as he was. So anyway, it was great to get the stories last night, I'll tell you that. But it was some of them you can tell on the air, some of them you can't. But listening to these guys, I'll tell you this: it's the brotherhood they have, and it didn't matter if you were a Packer or a Viking, because we were sitting at a table that had both last night. It didn't matter if you were a Packer or a Viking. It's all this. They first of all, they talk about the rivalries, which is great. But I was watching. Vincey Green has a highlight reel of a game that he had 3 picks in one game against Favre. And one of them, he goes off into the sidelines of the Packers, and Holmgren's on the field, like screaming. And I don't know who he's screaming at, but he's screaming. And as Vincey Green goes to come back onto the field, it was more of a matter of happenstance, and him and Holmgren kind of meet, but he ends up giving Holmgren kind of a shoulder, and Holmgren's mad and, screaming and yelling, and Vincey's like, yeah, I gave him a little bit, So listening to these stories of these guys talk, and Kenny Stills, who played with the Badgers with our friend Gary Ellerson, and all their different locker room stories. It was fantastic last night. It was one of those things where you got to know when to shut up, be a fly on the wall, and just enjoy yourself. So that was my night last night. It was absolutely perfect. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We're going to come back, let the celebrities get announced. They're going to be heading off to the holes in just a little bit, as they're applauding for each other and everybody's getting introduced and hanging out. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Point Brewing. Brewing excellence since 1857, whether it's the Drop Dead Blonde or the Lakeside Pale Ale or the traditional amber, or all the stuff that's NA, whether it's the root beers, the creamsicles, the Concord grape, you name it, they've got something for everybody. That is our friends over there at Point Brewing. Brewing excellence since 1857. Make your summer a Point summer. Going to go ahead and take a quick break. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. We are live. We're at Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Outing, as a matter of fact. Turtleback Golf Course here is all the celebrities getting introduced. This portion of the program brought to you by our good friends over there at Burn Pit Barbecue. Go to burnpitbbq.com.
veteran-owned, based right here in Racine, Wisconsin. One of the best veteran-owned companies in the country, as a matter of fact, in the country. And they have the sauces, the rubs, the hot sauces. The best part about Burn Pit Barbecue is that they can turn it around in a couple of days for any orders, and it makes a great gift. You got Father's Day coming up. Think about the grillers, the smokers, and such in your life. Think about our friends over there at Burn Pit Barbecue. Ben and Greg do a great job with that company and continue to do a lot of grassroots stuff right here in our own backyard, and you have made them one of the best companies nationwide. So keep it going. Go to burnpitbbq.com. That's burnpitbbq.com. Lynn Dickey just being introduced behind us. We had a great I'll tell you this, Grant. So when I played golf yesterday, and I got to turn the speaker down because Lynn's right over there by the speaker. So played golf yesterday and when I went out with these guys, it was a great time. It was just a thrill to be able to go out and play golf with them. But these guys play golf together all the time. And Lynn is a really good golfer. I mean, he's probably a 4-over kind of guy. I mean, he's a really good golfer. I mean, straight down the middle most of the time, a very astute, concentrating putter. He's, it's something to him. And Paul plays pretty good. David Whitehurst is pretty good, but Lynn Dickey is like as intense gets. So he would putt, and he'd make a nice putt. He'd get it up there in 2, and he'd have a 2-putt, and the second putt be nice. And these greens here, by the way, are. I said yesterday that whoever designed this golf course was angry because these greens are not easy by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, but when Lynn doesn't make a putt, I learned all kinds of new adjectives and ways to swear yesterday.
Well, I was going to ask you before you even brought up Lynn. I was like, well, how did he golf? Because yesterday when he joined you, it's very clear to me, just listening to him talk about golf for 2 or 3 minutes, that like he's competitive.
Yes.
And he's out there to enjoy the day, but he's not out there just to knock the ball around. Like he wants to compete and see how well he can do.
100%. So he, like I said, it was almost like swearing in tongues. You weren't quite sure what he said, but you knew it was probably profane, but you weren't sure. And and I told that story last night at the dinner, and people were laughing. But it was he's very competitive, but very, very good. And those 3 guys together are just fantastic. But it was funny because Lynn was getting ready to putt, and he lines it up and takes time. And as he takes time and gets ready to putt and gets ready to go ahead and address the ball, it's like Sergio Garcia on the tee box. It's a little while. And Paul Kaufman leans over to me and says, yeah, you don't say anything while Lynn's putting. I said, okay, I won't. So we get done. Lynn misses the putt, and you hear just a rambling rant of tapestry of profanity. Okay. I was thinking of the movie, The Christmas Story, where he said his dad, there was wove a tapestry of profanity that still hangs out over Lake Michigan today. That was what I was thinking of. So we get to the cart, and Paul goes, don't worry. He's like this all the time. We're used to it. And I'm okay. So then it was another hit and a good shot. There you go, kitty. And then the next shot wasn't great. Yeah, son of a. It was just this rant. I was like, wow, is this intense? I was out to smoke cigars and I played like crap. My drives were awesome. My short game sucks. Putting is good, but my short game sucks. And I'm sculling it, and I'm chipping it, and I'm chunking it, and I'm hitting it fat, and it just. Anything that could go wrong went wrong yesterday. So like every hole, just add a stroke to every hole, and that's what I basically shot on the back 9. And so we're getting done, and Lynn's writing it down. He's like, Whitey, what'd you get? Okay, you got a par. It was a par 5 we ended on. I got a 5. Yeah, okay. You go, well, Paul, what'd you get? 5. He said, Billy, I'm just putting you down for an 8 because you just suck. So, like.
I lost patience trying to count whatever you were doing back there. Basically, that's what he said.
Yeah, that was it. He's just like he was done. I'm like, that's okay. I'll take it for the team. He's like, we're not a team. we're individuals out here. I got almost like the Lombardi pep story, like a Bart Starr transference. So anyway, it was a lot of fun, but to get a chance to play those guys.
I'm glad to hear that Lynn putted well, a lot of 2 putts. I have never needed more than 2 putts in my life to put the ball in the hole, because after I hit it twice, if it doesn't go in, I pick it up and we're on to the next. So
moving on.
We're moving on. We've accomplished all that can be accomplished here.
When you look at this course, you look at it and you're like, man, it's beautiful. And then when you play it and you're walking, it's kind of like when people look at Augusta on television. You're like, oh, what a beautiful course. But when you get there and you realize how truly undulated and up and down it is, it's like, wow, is this course up and down? These greens are like, first of all, it's like they're slow, but they're not. Like up on the ridge is dry, at the bottom it's not. So it's putting slow to get it up there. But once it gets up there, it'll roll right off to the other side and then down and off the green. It was like playing U.S. Open greens almost. It was crazy. So anyway, my frustration level was a little bit higher than it probably should have been, but I was just enjoying the day. I'm like, look who I'm playing golf with. This is fantastic. I'm blessed to be where I'm at. So I'm giddy. So there you go. Anyway, let's do this. They're going to finish up introducing everybody here. We're hoping to get a couple of the guys to come over to the table at some point here throughout the day, or even before they tee off, which we're really looking forward to. We'll talk a little bit more about Packers camp. And then obviously last night, the Pacers avenged their loss in Oklahoma City by getting a win yesterday. And they did it in kind of emphatic fashion. So that was an impressive game last night out of Indiana, and knocking off Oklahoma City. They go up 2-1 in the series. You've got hockey coming up, but we'll talk some more and hear some more audio coming out of Packers mini camp. What the hell is going on in Cincinnati, which is crazy? Aaron Rodgers and everything that he has to say and everything going on in Pittsburgh. They're semi-giddy now that he's there, because that's the way a quarterback is supposed to look. And I heard some of the comments coming out of Pittsburgh this morning. So there's a lot of stuff going on that we want to get to. And like I said, the wind is rather brisk. And as soon as these guys leave the podium up here, if you want to call it that, or the deck, I'm going to get rid of this giant wind umbrella. And then we'll be able to kind of do our job a little bit easier without this thing above us. So anyway, let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We got a lot more to get to. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Potawatomi, the sports book is fantastic. And I'm sure during the NBA Finals, the NHL Finals, baseball season, golf, the U.S. Open getting underway today as well. All of that. You got a lot of things going on at the sports book, and you can check it all out, whether it's on the big screen TVs, place a little wager, or you want to go over and just do a little of the gaming, listen to a little music upstairs, whether it's at the Rock and Brews or the DJ thumping, or you just want to spend the night. Place to go spend the night. They have the hotel attached to it as well. 13 different restaurants and bars. So much going on over at Potawatomi. Check out Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Go to paysbig.com. That is paysbig.com. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show live here in Rice Lake, Wisconsin at Turtleback Golf Course. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right after this. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to Bill Michaels Show. We are here in Wisconsin. Turtleback. The right six over the ball. Brought to you by our friends at Service Fest. Don't forget Service Fest coming to the Milwaukee Lakefront, July 25th, 26th, 27th. for all the special entry offers, for all the musical acts, for the beverages, the lederhosen, the whole thing. To get the whole feel, go to GermanFest.com. That is GermanFest.com. Coming up here in about 10 minutes, we're going to talk with Jesse Temple. Talk a little bit. We haven't talked Badgers in a while, and Jesse's back, and we're going to get Jesse back with us. So we're going to talk some Badger football and such. And a spring game commitments, 2026 class, all that kind of good stuff coming up here in just a little bit. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, the Packers back on the practice field again today with their minicamp. I got to mention this, and only for the fact that the Packers, they get their guys in, they get them signed like everybody pretty much does. And Grant, you had sent me the story on Shamar Stewart. I heard yesterday some of his comments where he said, you're all about more about winning arguments than you are about winning games. And the fact that Cincinnati had put clauses in his contract that were just abnormal for a rookie. And look, I don't want to dwell too much on Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, other than the fact that we're going to have a chance to see them this year when they come to Lambeau Field and face the Green Bay Packers. But what the hell is wrong with Cincinnati? It's like you think they're going to do something right. They get T. Higgins, they get Jamar Chase, they get him signed. Then you've got the holdout going on right now with Trey Hendrickson. And you kind of understand it a little bit, but it's not a good look for them after saying they're going all in. And then their first round draft, who's the middle of the road. It's not like he's the top 5. I think he's 18th or something like that, or whatever it happens to be, draft choice. And they can't get the guy signed because they're putting on all these weird clauses in his contract. It's such a horse crap organization, and it always has been. And Katie Brown is no better than her dad, probably a lot worse from what I understand. And it's like, what the hell is she doing?
Well, here's the thing, Bill, and I've heard other people point this out. I think it's a great point. Sometimes there is a situation between a player and a team where they're hung up, and this does happen every once in a while. It does, even with the best organizations. But consider that Cincinnati is in a holdout with their top edge rusher, Trey Hendrickson, and they drafted Shamar Stewart to presumably kind of replace Trey Hendrickson, and they have an issue with both. You know what I mean? So it's hard to look at this and say, well, the Bengals seemingly are involved in this a lot.
Yeah, it's bizarre to how they continually just screw things up and look so bad in doing so. And it's I don't know. It's not something that, like I said, I want to dwell on too much because a lot of people in our area don't really care, other than the fact that it's just kind of a spectacle. It's just a bad look for that organization who every time you think they've got something like back on track, they just don't. And that's what the embarrassing part is. So anyway, we talk a little bit about that. Pacers last night, they get the win. They knock off Oklahoma City down at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. And I got to admit, I really thought that maybe Oklahoma City figured something out. And they maybe had the elixir to knock off Indiana. And Indiana did it in the exact same fashion. They rebounded last night. Halliburton, obviously, another good game for them. And what they did was exactly what they do. They kind of got back. Rick Carlisle must have looked at the film and said, hey, we got to get back to doing what we do. And that is running them out of the gym. And they had some turnovers last night that they were able to convert into, offensive opportunities. And they did what they did in game 1. They just did it at home last night with a home energy and a little bit of juice in the building. So now the question is, what does Oklahoma City do? And the good news is, by the way, I think they're back at it again tomorrow night. It's only a one-day turnaround, right? Don't they play again tomorrow night, Friday night?
I think you might be right. I can check that because the Stanley Cup Finals is tonight. I think you're right. Maybe that the NBA is back tomorrow.
Yeah, I think the NBA is back tomorrow, which is good news. We don't have to wait another 8 days before they play again. But it's kind of like maybe they have figured something out, and maybe they may again. I think Oklahoma City, for what they did and kind of how they responded in game 2, you're going to look for that, but different in game 3 because they were really, really aggressive coming out of the chute in game 2 and doing that. They didn't do that last night. And partly due in part because Indiana got off to a fast start and really started to play aggressively early on anyway. But I was kind of thinking, man, when I was watching the beginning of that game, I thought, okay, I'm looking for OKC to get off to that lead, and they're going to take it to them. And it just, that never materialized right away. And then Indiana, like they always do, they kind of look at you, say, okay, you can take a little bit of a lead, you can get up on us, and then we're going to just start to run you out of the gym. And they grind you down, and that's the way they do it. So anyway, long story short, you had OKC get a win last night. They knocked off the Indiana Pacers. and now they move on to Game 3. So there you go. Bryce says, is Brett Favre too good to come to some of these golf outings, or was he not invited? I think they don't necessarily send out individual invites to this. They work with a company that brings in former players. So I couldn't honestly tell you if I'm sure they would love to have Brett Favre here, but I don't know. I don't know what that entails. So that's a great question, Bryce. I can certainly ask, but nevertheless, I don't specifically know all the details as to how they get to the celebrities here. I do know that they work with there's one agent who has connections to many of these guys, and he is kind of the go-to person who brings all these guys into town. It was good to see, Brandon Bostic was here, Eddie Lacy was here, Alex Green was here. They've got some new faces. Frankie Winters, first time here. He was here last night to see some of these new guys. First time for Dante Culpepper to be here from the Vikings. To see some of these guys that have never been here before. Jerry Augustine from the Brewers. Jerry's never been here before. So a lot of first-time faces, and quite frankly, a few younger faces too. I mean, because a lot of the guys that are here, you're either a Hall of Famer or you played, quote, back in the day. You're either a Bart Starr, player, or a Lombardi player, or you go back years gone by with the old people of purple, so to speak. And the Vikings organization, they had Juan Berenguer. It was here. Well, they used to call him Senior Smoke, played for the Twins, and it was fantastic when they won the World Series. He is here. I think this is his second year here, second or third year maybe. But he was another guy, another newer face to come into the organization up here. So I don't know how specifically they do it. But I don't know if couldn't honestly tell you if Brett was invited. But it's always good. It's always good to see all these guys and see such a big conglomeration of people hang out here. And then he had a couple of local celebrities. One of the guys that does the Charlie Barron's podcast, and his name escapes me, and I apologize, but he's here as well. He came over and said hi to me a little while ago, and he was here because I know Charlie Barron's was here a couple of years ago when we were here with Larry the Cable Guy. Because Larry used to come up here all the time. And Larry hasn't been here in the last few years, ever since his wife and him, they sold the house up here because his wife is from this area. And that's the reason they were always here in town, because Larry's house was here. So he would come over and do the golf tournament, but they sold their house. So they don't live here anymore. So Larry has not been here the last few years, although we'd love to have him, I'm sure. But Larry hasn't been here the last couple of years. So anyway, without going far too deep into that stuff, 877-867-1670. We can take some calls. We got coming up, Jesse Temple is going to be here in just a little bit. We're going to talk some Badgers and football and spring practice and commitments for 2026. And, I know, I'll tell you this, when we do the cigar dinners and we do the Q&As, part of the cool thing about the Q&As is that we just, whatever comes to mind, you ask. And every cigar dinner, I get a question about Luke Fickell and his longevity and what he needs to do to either be fired or to stay. And I'm not advocating, by the way, for Luke. I think Luke is a tremendous coach, and I get it. And one thing I said this year, and I continually say, is you need a signature win. Even if you end up with 7 or 8 wins, you still need a signature win in there. You can't lose to the teams that you should be losing to, or at least seemingly should be losing to. You can't have a bad loss and beat a couple of, teams that you should beat. That's not going to be this recipe for success or longevity. But that's, everybody wants to know that, what it's going to take for Luke Fickell to move the needle one way or the other. And I keep telling everybody, even if they end up with the same record this year, that would be a significant increase of level of play, because their schedule is so tough coming up this season. But they need a signature win. And I keep saying that over and over again.
Jesse, and I know you guys obviously talk about Luke Fickell, but so he's running a new platform now called Badger Connect, because he's not with the Athletic anymore. So he's been doing all these little videos as a part of, I think the series is called Badger Bites. And I talked about this with him yesterday. He worked out with the strength and conditioning staff. He did a workout with the football team where awesome. He was carrying the weight. He said he almost threw up. So he's been, what is that, hands-on or guerrilla reporting?
Yeah.
He has not only been talking with sources about official visits and recruiting, he has quite literally been in the walls and experiencing it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's great.
Ask him about it.
Hey, you know what? Hey, whenever you get an opportunity to go inside the walls and do something like that, that's fantastic, because it gives you an appreciation for what it is, the players, the coaches, go through now. Who knows if they obviously they're not going to treat you the same or be as hard on you. Sometimes though they're harder because they want you to get a real physicality understanding as to what it's like to be inside those walls. But that's a great behind the scenes look because you don't get a lot of that. You don't get coaches. I mean, I've had in the past. You go back to when I first got here in '99. And the strength and conditioning coach and such for the Packers during Ray Rhodes. Ray Rhodes brought us in one time, and it was an off day. It wasn't even an off day. It was off season for the Packers. There was hardly anybody there, and I was up doing an interview with Ray Rhodes, a sit down, and Ray said, "Come on," and we walked through the facility, and this is before Lambeau Field was renovated. And we walked through the facility and, got a chance to lift a little bit and sit on a weight bench and talk with Ray Rhodes and hold the microphone up and do an interview there. So you get a chance to see a little bit of that. But for him to actually go through that, that's really cool. So we'll talk to Jesse Temple when we come back. Stay tuned. We are broadcasting live here at Turtleback Golf Course. We're in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, where all the golfers, all the celebrities now behind me are gone. And now they are off to the holes, and they're going to start the tournament coming up here momentarily. And then I'm going to be able to let this umbrella down, and my biceps are going to give it a little bit of a break. Speaking of a workout and doing some heavy lifting, stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show here in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. There we are. Oh my God. For the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic, which is just about to get underway. They're going to fire the gun here momentarily. And Bruce and his staff here have done a spectacular job. The course is in amazing shape. And like I've said for a while now, if you're looking for a bucket list, couple of golf courses in the state of Wisconsin, whether it's Wild Ridge, Viroqua Hills, or here at Turtleback, it is a spectacular venue. So if you're going to plan a golf weekend and a one-tank trip, this is the place to go for sure. Joining us now on the hotline, Jesse Temple. From what I understand, has been working out and more buff and now like bulging biceps, and he's kind of clean jerking with deadlifting stuff and all that kind of. Jesse, how you doing, man?
I'm good. None of those things are true, but I did spend 90 minutes working out with Wisconsin's football team. It turns out I'm way too old and not talented enough, but it was good for the story.
So let me ask you this first and foremost. What did they have you do?
Yeah, so I ended up talking with Brady Collins, who's the strength coach here, and asked if there was a workout that I could do with them. I trained with the wide receivers and the defensive backs, who just so happen to be the fastest guys on the team.
Yeah.
So we did a series of sprints. I'm probably the slowest. Not probably. I am the slowest, as it should be. We did a lot of the speed work, and it was lower body. And it ended in disaster with me having to do what they call suitcase carries.
Oh,
where I had to take some 90-pound dumbbells, walk them to an orange cone, and walk them back.
Yes.
I made it the first trip, and then Brady Collins said, do it again, and I had nothing left in the tank. What was funny is the entire group, they were all done with their workout. They were surrounding me and yelling for me to finish, and I dropped the weight like 5 times, and eventually 2 guys on the team had to pick them up, put them in my hands so I could physically reach the finish line. But I had nothing left in the tank after that, which is what should happen when you are twice as old as the guys on the D1 football team.
But you also get a sense when guys are spurring you on what the camaraderie's like inside a locker room when they're doing it, though, right?
That was the whole point, and I know that's why Brady ultimately had me go again, because he knew what was going to happen.
Right.
And that is what Brady is trying to establish here. Yes, they've not won as many games as they want to the last couple of seasons, but when you're bringing in new players, not only through recruiting, but the transfer portal, and these guys don't know each other, how do you build that camaraderie? You get them around each other, you have them support each other. So if I did get a brief glimpse of what that experience was like, which I have to say was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the neat thing is when you get into those locker rooms and you know your arms are shaking, your legs are shaking, you just don't think you can go on. And then you've got the guys around you, like which gives you a burst of adrenaline, which gets you the ability to get over the hump or builds camaraderie within. And it's not necessarily, I mean, you want to get bigger, you want to get stronger, you want to get faster, but it's also about building the camaraderie for guys around you as well. And that's one thing people don't get that you don't get a chance to get kind of privileged enough to get inside those locker rooms. And you got a chance to learn that firsthand. That is so cool.
Yeah. And one of the things Brady told me earlier in the spring is that he encouraged the players, whenever they were together, it didn't matter what they were doing, take a photo of all of them together and send it to Brady. And Brady ended up putting them on in various places within the weight room.
Yeah.
But he's done everything he can to encourage that development. So we'll see if it translates to the field in year 3 here.
So, okay, now my next question becomes all of that. Everywhere I go, I do these dinners, and everybody says to me, what is it going to take for Luke Fickell to be fired? What is it going to take for him to go to the next level? There's a big split. I mean, everybody's hoping for success, but if you don't get instant success, they want everybody fired and they want everybody gone. I said, if you end up with the same record as last year, but a signature win, that is a step forward. If you lose to the teams you should lose to, if you don't at least have one ugly loss and beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, that's not a step forward. So give me your thoughts as the season approaches.
I agree with you, Bill. They've got to play these road games against Alabama, Oregon, Michigan, Indiana, Minnesota. That is a hellacious road schedule. If you only played Alabama or you only played Oregon or you only played Michigan, that would be tough enough. To have to do all 3, plus have Ohio State at home and Iowa at home, it tells you what Wisconsin is facing. Perhaps the toughest schedule Wisconsin's ever had, but certainly in the running. So if they can go 5-7 but get a signature win, it's not the end of the world, though we are in year 3. Getting to a bowl game feels certainly possible. To me, best case scenario is you steal one, you win all the games you're supposed to. Maybe you win 8 games. That might be pie in the sky. But I've said this before, and everyone I've talked to feels like it's the same, that he's going to get into year 4. You made a significant financial investment in him. You want to give him the time to get it right. Year 3 is critical, though, because we know that the air raid experiment didn't work. So can Jeff Grimes bring back some more of that old school toughness, and you see results on the field? That's what matters.
Okay, so the next portion of this is what he's bringing in, because also when you start to look to the future, you say, okay, maybe this isn't great, but the future does look bright. From what I understand, and from a couple of the people that I've talked to, there's a lot of excitement about the recruits that are coming in, specifically filling in the 2026 class.
Yeah, well, obviously the 2026 class are guys who won't be here for more than a year. But right now is official season, and the Badgers have 11 commitments. They've gotten 5 out of the first weekend of official visits. There are a bunch of guys still left on the board, and I think it's nail-biting time because these are all top-level guys who are taking their other official visits and seeing it through. The name to watch at this point, though, is 4-star running back Amari Latimer. He is arguably the top player on the entire board. Wisconsin is in a great spot for him. He took an official visit the first weekend. He did not go on his official to Michigan last weekend and came back to Wisconsin for an unofficial. His older brother, Jameer, transferred from Jacksonville State to Wisconsin this offseason. I think that's helped tremendously. And this is a guy who's got 50-plus scholarship offers. So that's the top of the board name to watch. But I would also say the 2025 class, which are the people you're going to see this season, Wisconsin hit a lot of home runs, including a linebacker named Mason Posa from New Mexico, who I think has a chance to be really special here. He just got on campus last
I was just going to ask about him. So that being said, because Wisconsin has always been known for either the edge rusher or some of the linebackers that they've had in the past, obviously beef up front, but that kid is special, and that kid some of the reports were, and I don't want to make this comparison in a negative light because people look at it and roll their eyes. But back when A.J. Hawk played for Ohio State, I heard he's kind of the sideline-to-sideline guy in a very similar fashion. Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the tools you need. I've compared him to Leo Chanel, to Nick Herbig. Guys, when you watch their high school film, you go, oh, that's going to work nicely at Wisconsin. And both those guys became superstars and left school after 3 years, were taken in the NFL draft. That's Posta's dream. His dad told me he wants to be here 3 years, go to the NFL. He wants to be a first-round draft pick. Maybe that's a tad ambitious since Wisconsin hasn't had a first-round draft pick since 2017. But this is a guy who won 4 state wrestling titles in New Mexico in 4 different weight classes. And my favorite story about that is he ended up moving up to the heavyweight division with a few weeks left in the season. And he won despite weighing 206 pounds. He was beating people who were 50 pounds heavier than him. So he knows everything about toughness, and he's a great football player. So it's a good combination for Wisconsin.
Great stuff. Well, Jesse, keep working out, keep enjoying yourself, and hopefully whatever sore muscles you have don't linger very long, man, because that can be debilitating for about a week.
I was out for about a week, but I'm back now. Thank goodness.
Jesse, great stuff, man. Jesse Temple with the Connect, Badger Connect, joining us for a couple of minutes. We'll talk to you next week, Jess.
Thanks. I'll talk soon.
See you, buddy. There you go. Jesse Temple joining us. Good stuff. He got inside the locker room, man. That's cool. Like it. Down in the trenches, like embedded. That's why we got Jesse Temple here. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show live at Turtleback, Rice Lake, Wisconsin. More to come.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers were 6-2 losers to the Braves yesterday at American Family Field. Atlanta jumped on Chad Patrick early, scoring 3 runs in the second inning, then put 2 more on him in the fourth. He fell to 3-6 on the year. Milwaukee's offense consisted of a Rhys Hoskins solo home run and an Eric Haas RBI double. The Brewers have now lost 2 straight series and welcoming the Cardinals tonight for a 4-game series. Turning to the Packers, they were on the field for practice number 2 of minicamp yesterday, and for a second straight day, Bo Melton was practicing both ways at wide receiver and cornerback. Now, it's not totally a foreign concept for Melton, as he played there a little bit at practice at his time at Rutgers, but never during a game. According to Melton, this idea at using him at cornerback is not a new one.
This is something lingering around for a little bit. When I came here 2-3 years ago now, Matt asked me before, you ever play corner? Just asking me. And I told him, yeah, back in high school, a little bit, started a career in college, but kind of went back around now. I've been doing receiver work all the time. Situation was in, he was like, you ever think about doing the same thing? So I was like, yeah, let's give it a try type thing. So
Packers close out minicamp today, then are off until next month when training camp begins.
ABC of Wisconsin is the largest apprenticeship program in the state, with more than 2,000 active apprentices in 12 different skilled trades. In the ABC apprenticeship program, you earn while you learn on the job, get paid to go to class, and graduate with a job in your craft, but without the huge college debt. Explore 12 different construction trades in one spot at buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
It sounds as if Giannis Antetokounmpo expects to stay in Milwaukee and not request a trade, as the Greek Freak was currently asked about the NBA Finals on Coast to Coast Brazil and said, quote, "I hope to be back soon with the Bucks." For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome back. We are live. We are in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, Turtleback Golf Course. Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic, which is a tremendous event. Thanks to everybody up here that has made us feel at home and that we've had so much fun with over the last 24 hours. It's been fantastic. And after we get off the air today, we're heading over to tomorrow. We're going to be at Road America, getting you ready, a week preview, getting ready for not this weekend, but next weekend's IndyCar series that comes rolling through Road America. So we're getting you ready for that as well, and all the other events that are going to still be ongoing at Road America. So that'll be coming up on tomorrow's program as we continue our trek throughout the state of Wisconsin, on tour, so to speak. This portion of the program, we got to say thanks to our friends at, we can't do this without our friends at Marquardt RV and the 2025 version of the Big Unit Cruiser, our Great Big Thor motor coach, which is absolutely fantastic. And we have done some really cool things with this year for charity. In honor of, I shouldn't say in honor of, in benefit of Big Unit Foundation and helping out veterans, military members, first responders and their families. So we've got a couple of trips planned that are going to be traveling around the state with some people that bought some auction items that go with us. So we're going to enjoy that. So thanks to our friends at Marquardt RV, 7 locations all throughout the great state of Wisconsin, a couple of them over in Minnesota as well. Go to Marquardt, MARKQUART. Go to marquardtrv.com. And the one thing I've said this before, they pride themselves on is their service. If you can, man, they've got great service. If you can go get an RV and a motor coach and such anywhere, but for people to take care of it and to take care of you, remember your name and such, that's Marquardt, MARKQUART, marquardtrv.com. That is marquardtrv.com. Brewers opening up a 4-game series with the St. Louis Cardinals coming up later on tonight. Big night as Mizorowski is going to go to the Hill. Grant, this is one of those nights where I'm going to try to get to my destination quickly so I get a chance to catch the up-and-coming rising star coming out of the Brewers organization. But I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited for Mizorowski to go to the Hill. Savali going to the bullpen. But I'm excited tonight to see this kid pitch and to see what he can do. And you hope it's one of those games where it's a new arm. Nobody's really got a book on him yet. And he's able to go in and do his thing and throw the 103-mile-an-hour fastball and be able to, one up, one down and mow down quite a few Cardinals tonight. And maybe the Brewers get a jump on him. But I'm excited for tonight.
I mean, it'll be fun to watch him, and there's no reason for him to still be in the minors. From a winning game standpoint and from a team construction standpoint, this move is a little messy. Their issue hasn't been pitching, first and foremost, right? So, I don't know that I feel way better about their 2025 outlook just because Mizorowski's up here. And they had to move Savali to the bullpen. He requested a trade, which I heard he was upset yesterday, and then Rosenthal reporting today that he wants out of there. I'm sure the Brewers would love to get rid of him. So it's a messy situation, and I'm not sure that he's going to help them win more games than they've been winning. But like you, I am excited to watch him because he throws 103, and that's awesome.
Well, in my next question for Savali is, he's been good. He's not been great. I get it. You don't want to be, relegated to bullpen duty. It can devalue your arm monetarily. But requesting a trade, it doesn't help your situation. It just doesn't. It doesn't help the Brewers because now they, teams out there know that he's the guy that is wanting out. And whenever you say that or whenever that gets out publicly, it hurts your value for the team to be able to get something more for you or to get something and get anything for you, because now they know he just wants to go. He wants to be done with it. So while it's a shame, that he's, so hurt over all of this. And it's a shame that he doesn't want to really, quote, help the team, so to speak. But it's like you said, it gets a little messy because now everybody knows that's a guy that wants out. That's a guy that wants to move on. So the value, and you hope that along the way, there isn't a disgruntled player in your clubhouse that begins to bring down others around. It's kind of like, they always say the cancer. And I hate to use that terminology because it is such a different terminology to so many people. But it's kind of like the negative attitude in a clubhouse cannot begin to permeate when one guy begins to, you screw this type of thing. And you hope that doesn't become catchy. You hope there's enough leadership and enough strength in there to say, hey, look, while you're here, for whatever term you're here. I mean, Mizorowski could come up tonight and just be awful. And they could say, you know what, you're not ready. You're not ready.
100% happen. And then the team, has to go back to Savali or
right.
And the weird thing is okay, move Savali to the pen. And let's say that you're able to trade him, which I think they've been trying to trade him.
Right.
I don't know that anybody wants him. What happens if Brandon Woodruff ever gets healthy or Nestor Cortez gets healthy or they just have a lot of arms. And I think that's why Aaron Savali's probably annoyed. It's like, so you guys traded for me last year, paid me $8 million in the offseason. I've been a starter my whole career. I'm about to be a free agent. I got hurt. I'm working my way back. And before I have a chance to fully be back, you move me to the pen. I get why he's frustrated, even though he hasn't pitched at a super high level.
Correct.
But he hasn't pitched at a bad enough level to say that he should be demoted. He's been fine. He's been mostly on par with all their other starters.
Right. And that's just it. It's just merely a matter of room. Upside versus downside in a matter of room. And somebody was going to the pen. That's it. And they've got a plethora of arms. I get what I completely understand where he's coming from. I think they always talk about professionalism, and it sucks. And, I don't know who put it out there that he wanted a trade, that he asked them to be traded now, that he's been, kind of sent to the bullpen. But it was one of those things where you would like to just kind of keep your professionalism and just not let it get out that you want out. Just say, hey, I got to do what's best for the team. I got to do what's best for me. I continue to pitch well. And, all I got to do is go in and eat up innings. If he throws 4 innings in middle relief and he throws it extremely well and he says, okay, I've worked my way back. Now I'm ready to be a starter again. Then other teams may look at him and go, okay, the guy came back from the injury. He's pitching extremely well. But to let it leak out that he wants out, so in other words, if I'm a team saying, hey, our bullpen's not great, I'm looking for that long relief, that middle reliever, that guy that's going to give me 3 or 4 innings in a game, and Savali fills the bill because maybe he doesn't go 6, but maybe he can give me 4. And now you got to find out that Savali, he's either a starter or he wants out. That also limits your market. So I don't know why something like, it's messy. I don't know why he would let, or the team would let something like that get out. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sure the team wouldn't want it out. It was reported by Rosenthal and Salmon, and his agent is quoted in the story. So I think the agent probably just got sick. I think the Brewers have been trying to trade him. Honestly, I would guess they've been making calls for a while and nobody's interested.
Right.
So Savali's probably trying to and his agent's probably trying to wrap this up or ratchet it up publicly. The Brewers also, it's been a weird season so far because you can send someone to the bullpen to say, well, we want our best players in the lineup, and Mizorowski's one of our best players. Okay, but Logan Henderson was one of your best players. He's still in the minors. And then what does that say about Ortiz and Durbin, who have mostly been bad, and you run them out there every day? So Savali's supposed to go to the bullpen and watch guys who he doesn't think are truly the best players at their positions. There's a lot of different angles going on with the Brewers. It's a little bit of a mess.
And the other aspect of this is, and it is quite frankly, it pitch better. I know you're working your way back, but if you're pitching better and you're a guy that they just flat out cannot take out of the rotation, you make yourself invaluable. You're not going anywhere. You were the. It's kind of like, who is the weakest link? He was the weakest link, and thus they made the move. So if he was better, they weren't moving him. But that's the other bottom line, because it's a performance-based business. Sometimes it's a hard business, especially in baseball, because of the ability to move guys around and guys that do have options versus guys that don't have options and all that kind of stuff. But part of it is if you become invaluable, they can't move you. And he's not invaluable right now. And so he was kind of the weakest link. And they said, this is what we're going to do. And it's time to give Mizorowski the opportunity and let him take a look. What's kind of, and I don't really have a clear explanation. What is and I know that they have done some openers and, bullpen starters and all that kind of stuff. But was there a necessity to bring Mizorowski up right now? That's what I never have had specifically explained.
No, I think the best way to explain it is he's ironed out his command issues.
Yeah.
He has become the version that they've always wanted him to be. And we've crossed some, date thresholds where it benefits the team in arbitration and team control. Like, it's just time because there's no use in him being in the minors anymore. But the problem is, like, you could maybe say the same thing about Logan Henderson, who's been awesome in his couple opportunities, and he's still in the minors, which is why, the Brewers are conflicting themselves a little bit.
Yeah. And that was the one thing that I get it. You're toiling away, but that's part of the business. That's part of the business side of this. So I didn't know the necessity to get him here today. Or maybe it's just a matter of saying, hey, Savali, go to the pen and pitch great, and maybe somebody's going to want to pick you up in middle relief, and we're going to work some things out. Or, I don't know, but I didn't understand the necessity to get him here. Look, I'm all for it because I can't wait to see this kid throw. Don't get me wrong. I'm not second-guessing them. I'm just simply saying, with everything that's going on, and as you would put, I think a good term is it's a little messy. What was the necessity to get him here today? So that was the only thing. That was the only question I had in all of this. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, please feel free. Go ahead and do so. By the way, you can watch the program over on YouTube. Go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can watch the program there, and you can subscribe for free. We don't charge you for this, but please subscribe. You drive up the subscribership. That's fantastic. We appreciate it. Also, when you subscribe, it notifies you when we do go on the air, so you can always check that out there as well. You can also find us on all the social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We're on X, Twitter, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels on Twitter, on X. You can find the Bill Michaels Show on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, also on the Twitch app, the Kick app, the LinkedIn app as well. You can find us by emailing us, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. The website, simply thebillmichaels.com. We're on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Google Podcasts after the fact. You can take us anywhere and everywhere and listen to us on the Zone app, WOZN, the Zone Madison. The Zone Madison. And then don't forget, we are also a television show in Milwaukee on My 24 TV on Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time. Saturday night, 8 o'clock Central Time. My 24 TV is where you can find us as well. Packers back in camp. And what the talk, we were yesterday getting into the Bo Melton thing, Grant. I'm listening, driving around yesterday because I was listening to some of the national stuff, and they go camp by camp reports. And this was after we got done playing golf and when I got back to the room last night. And I'm just kind of following up on stuff to see if I missed anything specifically. Why is that a big deal? Is there nothing else to talk about in camp right now other than the fact that maybe Elton Jenkins just isn't, until he gets the new deal, isn't going to be doing anything physical? But is that all we have to talk about is the Bo Melton situation?
I get why we're talking about it. As I said on my show last night, I'm a little confused as to why that's making national headlines because it's Bo Melton.
Right.
It's not like they're having, Jordan Love playing linebacker or something. Like if Jamar Chase was playing linebacker or passer, like that's a big deal. It's Bo Melton and it's June. So I get why we're talking about it. I don't know why it's on the Pat McAfee show. That's what I don't get.
Right. You get these, you look at these headlines, Trey Hendrickson holding out. TJ Watt not in camp. Aaron Rodgers is, and he's married. Bo Melton being moved to defensive back. It doesn't warrant the same level of headline coverage.
No disrespect to Bo Melton, but he's the 6th or 7th wide receiver now.
Yeah.
When you consider they signed Mecole Hardman and drafted 2 other guys.
Well, I was thinking, what doesn't belong? If I gave headlines for the NFL, what does not belong? And when I go through the headlines and you're looking at this and, Shamar Stewart talking about the problems in Cincinnati trying to get his 18th pick overall rookie deal done because Cincinnati's a boatload of idiots. I mean, and then it's, oh, by the way, Bo Melton has been moved from wide receiver to defensive back, and the world seems to be up in arms about it in some way, shape, or form. Like this is the Packers are desperate. I'm thinking this is just a depth move for a guy that works his ass off and just trying to make the team in one facet or another. And his brother plays there, so maybe there's a little athleticism that's rubbed off in the family. But good God, I didn't understand why that became such an issue. But I was scrolling and I'm thinking, and here's the thing: when you hit something that pertains to a subject on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, you get the algorithm. So I agree with you. Why is it on the Pat McAfee show? Why are they talking about it on the NFL Network? Why are they talking about it on some of the national talk show programs? It started to pop up. And I'm reeling through this and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, are we at the bottom of the barrel to where we're like, you know what? We got nothing. We don't have enough controversy. We got nothing. Nobody's done anything. And it's a former Packer. LaTroy Guion is in trouble, but no Packer, thank God, but nobody else on any other team has done anything colorful. Nobody's done anything stupid. Everybody's waking up, doing their job. It's kind of boring. It's an off season. Nobody's in pads. They're in mandatory minicamp. We're watching everybody run around in shorts and shirts with a helmet on, acting like this is some kind of in-depth coverage, which, other than contractual situations, who cares? And that's what we've got left. There's nothing more.
I think it's probably an extension of the news of Jair getting cut, which is significant news, right?
That is.
If the Jair move hadn't happened, I doubt there would be as much attention on Bo Melton, but still, it's still Bo Melton.
Yeah, here's my question. I know there was the Jair was spotted at an airport in Minnesota. Okay, I get that. Any other news regarding Jair? I mean,
no.
For as big of a deal that was made of him being cut. Any other news? It's not like he's being courted by 5 teams and they're all vying for his services. And, maybe he signs in Minnesota. I don't know. I'll tell you this. Vincey Glenn doesn't want that guy in Minnesota. We sat last night and talked about that for probably a good 25 minutes between him, Kenny Stills, Alex Green. We were talking about camaraderie inside locker rooms. Some of these other guys that were sitting with us last night, and they were talking about, and Vincey Glenn talked about it last night as well, or yesterday as well on the program, but saying anybody that is a prima donna, anybody that desires and craves throwing the spotlight on, it's one thing if you're just a good player and you're going to get the spotlight. Okay, that's one thing. But when people want to say, look at me, look at me, look at me, and we know, and I'm not sitting here bad-mouthing, Jair, but he was that guy. He was a fun guy on one hand. On the other hand, he was the guy that craved the spotlight. It said nobody in a locker room likes that just wants to go about their business. It doesn't bode well. And, I've never been a part of that where I was ever in a locker room that had that. None of us have. So when you listen to guys that are in locker rooms going, we all have to pull the rope in the same direction. You have to buy into everything that the head coach is selling. You have to buy into everything that your defensive or offensive coordinator are selling. You got to build the camaraderie. And the guys that may not be on the same page, you got to convince them to get on the same page and give it an opportunity and come into it not only with an open mind, but to give it 100% to get into it. And not to sit around and wait for the demise, but more so create the solutions to fix the problems that might not necessarily agree with them. And then they all said the same thing. And you started going through the list of guys, anybody that's ever wanted the spotlight, anybody that's ever craved it and done things to get the spotlight, they said those guys, while they may be good, they just don't have, they don't build a better locker room. And they brought up Stephon Diggs. They're like, Stephon Diggs, 3 teams, 3 years. Yeah, he was hurt, but he's the same guy. Look at the problem. It's not the team, Stephon. It's you. You wanted the money. We get it. No problem. But when you're going around yelling at quarterbacks, you're going around yelling at people, and all you should do is just shut up and do your job better and help guys. Not yell at guys, but help guys. When you're talking about stuff like that, and it starts to make sense as you listen to guys that actually have been on the sidelines and in those locker rooms, that's why they're like, we don't want Jair here. When you talk to some of these Vikings here, they don't want Jair. They're like, no, you don't want a guy like that. No matter how good he is, he's going to end up doing something stupid and blaming everybody else around him for the problems. Very rarely do those guys take responsibility for their own stuff. So I just thought it was a really different and in-depth insight last night when you were talking about Jair, who's really more of the story than it is Bo Melton going from wide receiver to defensive back. Let's do this. We're going to step out. We'll take a quick break. We're broadcasting live up here at Turtleback Golf Course. We are in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Beautiful Rice Lake. Love this area. God's country, as they call it up here, baby. There's a lot of God's country, but this is one of them, one of the corners of our great state. That is God's country. Hey, if you're going to head out to the ballpark today, tomorrow, over the weekend, you're going to do a little tailgating over there, maybe. Stop at Robert's Specialty Meats in Waukesha, only about 15, 20 minutes from the ballpark. Stop down on Sunset Drive in Waukesha. Go in and either get the ribs on a stick, which all you got to do is throw on the grill, heat them up, you're good to go. You can do that. Or you can head down there and get the Al Capone sausages, maybe some of the handmade brats, the hot dogs that they have down there, the pre-made burgers that they have down there. Maybe you just want to throw some steaks on the grill, kick back, relax, and take it easy. Then head into the ballpark, first, second inning, relax a little bit, enjoy yourself. That whatever it happens to be, or maybe the backyard. That's our friends at Robert's Specialty Meats. They got something for everybody, including all the others fare, like pasta salads, potato salads, macaroni salads. They got it all. That's our friends, Robert Specialty Meats on Sunset Drive in Waukesha. Robert Specialty Meats, Waukesha.com. That's Robert Specialty Meats, Waukesha.com.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
The Big River Rally coming to La Crosse, Wisconsin, June 27th and 28th. Don't miss the excitement on the main stage Friday night. It's Texas Hippie Coalition. And Saturday night Drowning Pool. Tickets are on sale now. Want more? Follow Big River Rally on social or go to BigRiverRally.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels rules in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. Get all rules up here at Turtleback Golf Course. Golfers out on the course now for the Waste Lake Celebrity Golf Classic, which is underway. This weekend, I tell you what, I have been on the road now for 2 straight weeks. And at some point, maybe Sunday, I don't think I want to get there on Saturday, but maybe Sunday, might head down to Nice Ash. I haven't been down there in a while. It's been maybe a month since I've had a chance. Maybe 3 weeks, but nevertheless, going to get down there. They got music tonight, music tomorrow, live music tomorrow, Friday Night Live tomorrow night, as a matter of fact, in downtown Waukesha, and then music on Saturday night as well. Maybe I'll get over there and catch the Brewers game. Watch a little bit of that on Sunday, but been a while since I've been there. Got to get back down to the Ash, theniceash.com, theniceash.com to see everything they have going on, the bands they have coming in, and the musical acts. But whether you're looking for just good premium cigars or maybe a hookah, they're in fashion, or maybe you just want to stop in and try one of their finer bourbons or whiskeys, or just, like I said, go in there for a great vibe. Just hang out in some of the big plush leather chairs and couches and sit up front by the windows and just watch the world go by, whatever it happens to be. That is the Nice Ash Cigar Bar, 323 West Main Street, downtown newly renovated Waukesha, beautiful downtown Waukesha, which continues to grow and continues to add local commerce, which is awesome down there. That's theniceash.com. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free to go ahead and do so. Doug, listening to us in Luxembourg. Doug, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
Doing good, Bill. I have a couple things to touch on. One on Jair and one on the Brewers.
Okay.
I'll do the Jair first. I'm glad you said what you said. Like the Vikings, they don't want Jair around here. Nobody wants that clown around here. And it's good that Packer fans finally hear it. I don't know. They've been kissing that guy's butt for the last 3 years. He hasn't been a viable football player for almost 3 years. Get out of here, move on from him, forget about him, and don't think about him anymore. Now on the Brewers.
Okay.
They run the organization, every professional team does this. The GM wants his guys on the field.
Right.
The Brewers take that to an extreme. They're almost like the Little League team that if your family doesn't fit in with the rest of the guys, you're not going to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's like favoritism on the Brewers team. They play favorites with the players they got. They got guys that are in the organization that are better than guys that they throw out there and let's start every day. And they just insist upon doing it because it's their way of doing things. Well, he's not in our clique. He's not going to play. I see it all the time with the Brewers like that. And that's my opinion on that. And that's one of the reasons why they can't keep any good players on that team. They don't get a chance to play for one reason or another. Or they get tired of it and they've got to move on. They just can't afford to pay them after that. But I mean, they just can't get over that hump. And I think that's one of the big reasons. They just so stuck on playing their people.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you finish up.
But that's about it. So
okay,
you can comment on that, but that's the way I see it with the Brewers. And it's been going on for 50 some odd years now, 55 years or whatever.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. And thanks, Doug. So going back to the Jair, let's start there. You are valuable as long as you're valuable. And by that, I mean, you can have the biggest mouth if you have the ability to back it up. If you don't, and you are more of a anxiety, and I'm not saying like stress level in the sense of, oh my God, this guy's in trouble. Oh my God, this guy's doing, the wrong thing. What I'm saying is if the old adage is, don't write a check with your mouth that others have to cash. And Jair, for the last couple of years, has done that because of his injuries. Now, it's not all his own fault. I mean, it's just the fact that the guy got hurt. But when he was good, he was really good. And you can put up with a lot of that crap. And you don't mind it when you're really, really good. But when you're not, and you're not out there, and other things can overshadow that at that point in time, that's when you become a problem. Now, the problem is that whether it was behind closed doors or not, whatever the level of frustration was between the Packers and Jair, and the fact that they felt maybe that he could still play even though he wasn't at 100% and he didn't want to play, and I don't know all the details and all of that, that becomes an issue. When you got other guys, now think about this, when you got other guys that are out there and they're competing, and guys, take like Lucas Van Ness, can't get the job done because he's 1.5-handed, right? Busted up thumb, can't play. Can't really do his job the way he wants to do his job, but he's out there doing it anyway because you're trying to do everything you can to help your team. A knee is different. I get it. Had Jair had a busted up thumb, chances are he's out there. But my point being is guys are banged up. Nobody's 100% after week one. From then on, everybody's got aches, pains, bumps, bruises, whatever. Everybody's playing with something. And you got a guy that the team feels like can go and he doesn't want to go or feels like he shouldn't go. That can begin to wear on guys. And then when you have the character, and I say that almost in air quotes, the character that you have in that locker room. Now, sometimes it can be very good. He can be a guy that breaks the tension, and he's the jokester. Okay, everybody's got one. But if you're not contributing, then it can become problematic. So for you to say, well, get rid of him, and other people don't want him in that locker room. You don't until you do, because if he comes in and he plays extremely well, take Aaron Rodgers, for example. A lot of fans in Pittsburgh, they don't want that guy, and they don't feel like the Steelers organization should have lowered themselves to his level to wait for him and not, either you're with us or you're not, according to Cam Hayward, right? But if Aaron Rodgers comes in and throws 3 touchdowns and throws for 287 yards in game one and they get a win, and then they beat the Packers and they get a win over either Baltimore or Cincinnati, and they're right in the thick of things when it comes to first, second, or third in that division, and they're heading towards the postseason with the hopes of a guy that's been there, done that in a Super Bowl, you better believe they're going to be all in. The distraction becomes minimal because he's benefiting your team. So that's why you put up with Jair, because he was really good until he wasn't. As far as the Brewers goes, I don't necessarily call it a click, because believe me, Pat Murphy gets judged on wins and losses. Managers lose their jobs because of wins and losses. Nobody wants to go out there and lose by playing a guy that really doesn't deserve to be there, but he's a buddy. They don't do that. But there are times where circumstances and situations in baseball, business-wise, can leak into a team rather than just putting all the best players on the field. And we've seen this before. I've complained about it before. Now, the benefit is, ever since we started complaining about Joey Ortiz, he's actually played a little bit better. So maybe we complain about him every damn day, and next thing you know, we make Joey Ortiz in some way, shape, or form an all-star. But, like Mizorowski, and Grant put it best. He's done everything he can in the minors. He's worked out his control issues. At least you believe so. So if that's the case, bring him up. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what you have in him. Because one thing or the other is going to happen. Either one, he comes up and there's some other struggles that, and holes in his delivery, what have you, that need to be exploited by big leaguers that he goes back down and works on. Or he turns out to be the guy that you thought he was. And therefore, you can trade away an arm or two and a salary or two for a younger salary, so to speak, and still have the same level of quality. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad with that. I don't think they play guys because of clicks. I think they play guys because there's certain guys they paid, certain guys they believed in, certain guys they still believe in. But no organization, unless one that's tanking or doesn't believe in the season that they're about to have. Maybe if you've got a baseball team that says, hey, we're not really expected to do anything this year, let's just play this season out, see what we've got, and then we'll make some decisions next season. And maybe that's the Brewers' master plan, and maybe that's the reason they've decreased payroll by $30 million over the last couple of years. And, now they're saying, hey, we've got a lot of guys in the minor league system that the cream is ready to rise to the top. So there's no reason to go out and buy a bunch of free agents and spend a ton of money, because all these guys are going to start coming up, and we're going to put a viable team on the field for less money that's going to be better than what we have right now than going out and spending a bunch of money. So business-wise, things happen, and I can see that. So, but I don't think they play teams just because of, say, clicks, 877-867-1670. Hit us up. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess the next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. We are live. We are in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Turtleback Golf Course. Turtleback. This portion of the program brought to you by MIBA, M-I-B-A. M is a Michael, by the way. M-I-B-A. Industrial Bearings in Grafton, Wisconsin. And they are looking for you. If you are a CNC machinist, they are looking for quality people right now. They need them, man. They're willing to pay top dollar for them. So if that is you, then you're the person they've been looking for. They are looking to add CNC machinists, and you can find them by searching them on Indeed. Indeed. Go to MIBA Industrial Bearings in Grafton, Wisconsin on Indeed. And submit your resume. Otherwise, you can always call them, 262-337-2210, 262-337-2210. Again, 262-337-2210, and give them a shout and tell them we sent you. Always appreciate it when you do. But that is MIBA Industrial Bearings in Grafton, Wisconsin. I got to tell you this. We've gotten a lot of different gifts up here when it comes to the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Outing. And we get a lot of cool. They sent us today. My buddy Packer Dave over here got us a Rice Lake Celebrity. It's like a charcuterie board that they gave us. Not a bad way. Not a bad gift. What's that? There's a knife that comes with it as well. They didn't give me the knife, and I wouldn't put myself around sharp objects either, to be perfectly honest with you. But from Toscana, the cutting board, the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic 2025 charcuterie board. I like that. I did get, they gave us 1 year tumblers, these really nice big tumblers with a complete straw and the whole thing. My mistake was I put it in the dishwasher and everything fell off of it. So now I just got a big stainless steel tumbler, and that's it. There's no markings on it anymore. It's completely been washed away. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free. Go ahead and do so again. 877-867-1670. Got to say hi to our buddy Oz, who is listening in Wausau. Oz, you've got some friends here at the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Outing that said, hey, can you give a shout out to our buddy Oz? Oz is in Wausau. He listens to the show every day. And Oz, you the man. Also up here in Rice Lake, our buddy Dave Gunnis. Dave Gunnis, who is a listener as well. And he is a good guy. And he is in the Wausau area. So got to say hi to Dave. Dave Gunnis also. And this portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Todd's Ready Mix. I got a note yesterday. Todd was listening to the program. Todd is not, I don't know where Todd's at, because normally he comes by and says hi. But apparently Todd was on his tractor yesterday listening to the program. And when I had talked about Todd's Ready Mix up here in this area, and somebody said, hey, we just got done doing a job with them. And Todd, I guess, damn near fell off his tractor that, he was so happy that people were responding and listening to the program. I've always figured it was me and Grant and maybe Grant's parents taking a listen to us, and Kate Gunderson, who better known as Kate Fox, depending on where you're going, listening to the program. Who knew? But so thanks to our friends at Todd's Ready Mix for being a part of the program as well anyway. So
that is mostly, I feel like, our listenership day to day, but we do have days where we pick up a couple extras.
Every now and then we get a few people that'll chime in. So
Not often.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
That and Doug in Luxembourg. But
Doug
part
in
of me thinks that Doug just calls to complain sometimes. He doesn't actually listen. He just needs to vent.
And you know what? That's what we're here for. We whether it's to create discussion or be a therapeutic vent session, which at times after Packers games, that seems to be the premise. We're not really here to be analysts at times. We're here to just say, you're on the air. Go ahead. Let it off your chest. And then off they go. And then finally, when they're done, they're like, okay, I'll shut up and listen. It's like, okay, you feel better? You good? Because what we're here to do is to prevent any kind of chaos in your life. And that's what we try to do on a daily. So good stuff. Good stuff. 877-867-1670. You can hit us up, 877-867-1670. If you want to chime in via text message, you can. Text us 608-321-1670. Matter of fact, got Ryan in Manitowoc. I find it funny how sports fans can turn on a dime. First, they don't want I can't see that. Don't want Rodgers on the Steelers because he's arrogant and et cetera. And it doesn't look good for the team. Now he looks good in practice. And talking about football and how much respect he has for Tomlin and such, and suddenly they all feel good about it. To me, I look for what is actually on the field. Yeah, Rodgers looks good in practice because everybody is going to put you in the ground to see what happens then. Defensive of the Eagles and such. He goes on and on. And look, I get it. So, Ryan of Manitowoc. Ryan, that's what makes sports. The sports fan stands for fanatic. Fanatic means irrational, emotionally involved, and emotionally invested in the spirit of a team or community. That might be the best definition I can think of for what a fan is. You're emotionally invested in that particular team and or sport. That's what it is. And when you get emotional rather than analytical, sometimes you can go off the rails because you got to vent. You got to let it out. That happens, man. There you go. Brad in Sturgeon Bay says, hey, Bill, where do you think it's more likely for Jair to end up? He signs elsewhere for more than what the Packers offered him. 2, he signs elsewhere for less than what the Packers offered. He signs, or 3, he signs elsewhere for exactly the same for what the Packers offered him. That's a great question. Well, first of all, I don't know specifically what the Packers offered him. We don't know what the monetary amount was. But I got to think that, well, first of all, it only takes 2 teams to get into any kind of a bidding war. But if he starts to go on tour and he's going team to team to team, if he ends up interviewing with more than one team, we'll say, or 2 teams, then there's something there. You know, if he would say, go to Minnesota and he doesn't get out of Minnesota today without signing a contract, then you say, nope, they really value him. They probably overpaid to get him. and they are excited to have him in the fold. And say he signs for, I don't know, $12 million. Then you're probably, he probably signed for more than what the Packers offered him. If he leaves Minnesota and say then goes to Washington and then goes to 2 other teams, then it's kind of like, okay, there's something there. Either he's not passing physicals, or they're like, he's for what he's not humble, or he's problematic, or he doesn't fit. And then the value begins to descend quickly. But let's see if he gets out of the next few days of interviews and doesn't sign. If he signs in the next few days, my assumption is he signed for more than probably what the Packers were offering him. Just my take on it. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. 877-867-1670. All right, let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. Coming back, got a lot more to get to. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends. I just talked to Lyle today at J&L Tire and Service Center out there in Johnson Creek. A good guy. Lyle's been ailing a little bit health-wise, but the rest of the staff is doing great. His son Chad is doing great, and they're busy. He said, and he's such a good guy. I said, hey, every time I drive past you guys, it looks like you're just beyond capacity. And he said, you know what? We're really blessed to be this busy. And that means, 1, you're making money. 2, you're doing something right, and you're treating people right, which is the reason they keep coming back. And that's the reason we keep telling you. If you need major engine repair, you just need tires or just an oil change, that's our friends at J&L Tire and Service Center right there on Boulder Road in Watertown, or at the I-94 Johnson Creek exit. And just north of the exit, you can see them right there as well. Go to jnltire.com. That's jnltire.com. And when you go over there to the one in Johnson Creek, go over and say hi to Lyle. He could probably use a little bit of a pick-me-up. Let's do this. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show live in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, coming up after this. Ready?
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels here. Are your 2 wheels revved up? Because here it comes. The Big River Rally, where the river meets the road. It rolls into La Crosse on June 27th and 28th. Join us for a weekend packed with action. Stunt shows, a killer bike show, food trucks, all kinds of awesome vendors. Friday, Rod's River Run, with Texas Hippie Coalition lighting up the stage that night. Then Saturday is the Big River Rally Ride. Miles and miles of pure freedom. Then Saturday night, Drowning Pool rocks the house. Grab your tickets right now. BigRiverRally.com. That's BigRiverRally.com, and I'll see you there.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. We are live. We're at Turtleback Golf Course. We're at Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Rice Lake Celebrity Classic underway. Good day to you. Good day. Good stuff. As they and I said this a while ago, that all of the charities that used to do all these individual tournaments here in Rice Lake for so many years, eventually they just said, look, we're all doing these different things. We're trying to all go for the same sponsors. It's not a huge community. And what they did was they put them all under one umbrella, and they do this, raise a bunch of money, and made the pot even bigger so the charities that are involved get even more money because they all work together to raise money. And it's such a neat event, and it's such a neat coalition of community up here. And it's a tremendous thing as to what they do and what Tom Kozer and company have done. And so it's fantastic to be a part of this. And beautiful Rice Lake, Wisconsin. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please feel free to do so. We also have coming up here in just a little bit, Matt LaFleur. You're going to hear his comments here shortly. Bo Melton's comments. Speaking of Bo Melton, going to hear his comments coming up. Going to hear that. Also, Tucker Kraft spoke. So you're going to catch Tucker Kraft's comments. So still a lot to come as we approach the halfway point of the program up here. I did get a nice email, and this is from Stan. Stan says, hey, Bill, listen to the program every day. I wanted to ask you what you thought about Pat Murphy in all of this. Is this a Pat Murphy decision, or is this a Matt Arnold decision? That which is a great point, because sometimes as a manager, you're given a group of you may have some input, okay, but sometimes it's a business based. Sometimes it's injuries. You just have to make a decision, and so Pat Murphy, I'm sure, is involved in those decisions to say, hey, we're thinking about doing this, we're thinking about doing that. What do you think? And I'm sure that there's some consultation that goes along with it. But sometimes it's a general manager's decision. Sometimes you just have to manage the guys that you have been given. And so a good point. Good point. So sometimes it's the manager, sometimes it's not. Is what it is. I would assume, though, with it was a group decision on saying, Savali, you're going to head to the bullpen. There you go. All right, we got a couple of hours down. We got a couple more yet to go. Don't go anywhere. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Sobelman's Pub and Grill. Sobelman's, right there in Milwaukee, 25-plus years on St. Paul Avenue. They've got the second location on William Street in Waukesha. If you are looking for a great traditional place to go, good burgers, brioche buns, baby, that's our friends at Sobelman's. Sobelman's Pub and Grill. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, Aaron Savale has requested a trade from the Brewers. That's according to The Athletic. Comes after Savale was moved out of the rotation and into the bullpen to make room for the call-up of Jacob Mizrowski. Manager Pat Murphy said yesterday that Savale did not take the news well. Savale was acquired via trade last July from Tampa Bay. Missed more than a month earlier this year with an injury. He's 1-2 with a 4.91 ERA. Gave up 2 runs over 4 2/3 innings in his last outing. As for the club, they have lost 2 straight series. Were held to 2 runs or fewer in 4 of the 6 games, including a pair of shutouts. Murphy said that they aren't getting the contributions necessary right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're guys that, Terang and Frelick are on-base guys. Durbin and Ortiz have to be guys that collectively help us move runners or get themselves on base too. And Churio, Contreras, Yelich, and Hoskins got a bang, and that didn't all happen.
Milwaukee will open a series tonight against St. Louis. Cardinals a half game in front of the Brewers in the NL Central and 5 games back of first place Chicago. First pitch tonight is at 6:40.
For nearly 40 years, ABC Wisconsin Apprenticeship has been helping men and women transform themselves into highly skilled trade professionals. These skills are in demand and provide strong wages and benefits for a bright future. If you're a hands-on person who likes the feeling when you get projects done, apprenticeship could be for you. Go to buildyourcareerwi.org or just search online for ABC of Wisconsin.
Well, the Packers were on the field this morning for the final time this offseason as they close out their 3-day mini camp. Usually, the final day is a team-building exercise away from the practice field. But Coach Matt LaFleur decided to practice instead after cutting the offseason program short by a week. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome in. Good to have you. The Bill Michaels Show. We're live. We're in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. And at the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Outing, it is always great to come up here and to just kind of enjoy the scenery and enjoy the golf course. Joining me here at the table, the Hall of Famer himself, Dave Robinson. You got used to that yet?
What's that?
The word Hall of Famer before anybody introduces you?
Well, I got used to it now, but I've been there since 2013.
Right. But I know how long it took you to get here.
But for 2 years, it was hard to get used to.
Okay. Because I know how long it was for you to get in. And you and I did a show at the Wisconsin Center at State Fair Park.
Yeah.
And you were talking about it and about what it would be like when you got in and if you got in and all that kind of stuff. And I was always
I was up for vote, and I missed it by one thing. You don't know how many votes because the ballots are destroyed, and
yeah.
But I missed it anyway, and then I became I worked for the call, and so I was on the board of directors, and that all of a sudden my name dropped off the ballot, and I resigned from the board of directors in 2012 and got elected 2013. I said, I know that's all it took. I'd have been out here a long time ago.
There you go. Nice. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good to see you again, man. You're looking good. You dropped some weight.
Good to be seen, not viewed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Nobody's standing above you, looking down on you, going, man, he was a great guy.
He was wicked.
We're above the dirt.
That's right. Yes.
That's awesome. But you look good. You look healthy.
And well, maybe an outside looking in, inside looking out, not that good.
But you know what? For a lot of the guys that play for the Lombardi teams and such, they're not doing so well.
Well, on the defense, the starting defensive unit, I'm the only one left.
Right.
The other 10 guys have all passed away.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys have.
Yeah.
And
Jerry's in a wheelchair.
He's still hanging. So Jerry's about the most active one of the bunch.
Yeah.
Boyd Dollar, Carol Dale, they're both still around, but they have a touch of dementia or something like that. You know? Well, I have some of that too, though. but let's see. I'm trying to think. Well, Marv Fleming, he's here today. He was on that offensive unit for a couple of years, and I don't know.
I always tell the story.
We just lost Tom Brown.
Yeah,
my safety. Yeah. He was the last one.
Yeah.
Tom Brown.
I tell the story, speaking of Marv, of sitting at the table listening to you guys a couple of years ago, arguing back and forth about memories, which was fantastic. And I said to a friend of mine, he said, well, what'd you say? And I said, I didn't say a damn thing. Because there's a time to keep your mouth shut. And you can't chime in on any of that stuff. There's nothing that I can add to that conversation. So when you get a chance to see all these guys, it's always nice because you just, like you said, you just don't know how much, you don't want to put it in that sense, but you don't know how much time you got left.
And I feel this way, you only go this way once in your life. I come back to this tournament, but it won't be exactly the same as it was this year, next year.
Right.
But I come as many times as I can, get all the experiences I can because you're a long time dead.
It's kind of like, it's kind of like playing.
That's
you
right.
know, you're going to have a great locker room one year, and when you look around, a lot of those guys won't be back again next year.
That's right.
Yeah. So, man, you got to cherish it for what it is. So, when you kind of analyze things in Green Bay right now,
what's that?
Okay, when you analyze things in Green Bay right now, you look around in excitement, getting ready for the season, and
I can't wait. In fact, I love it. I think this might be the year.
Yeah.
I really do. I think we're going to be well represented this year, man. I've been wrong before, but I think I'm right this time.
Let me ask you this. Okay, what gives you that optimism? Because some guys say, they look good. I don't know. But you've got a genuine optimism. So what gives you the optimism when you look at it?
The rest of the other teams are full of crap. So I mean, you can't just look at how good you guys are. You got to look at the competition. And I say we'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of guys can in the league. I'm not going to talk about it before I might get sued. But I'm not a fan of half the league.
Okay.
I mean the players, not the teams. And,
and
some of the things they do, the way they move players around, I'm not But I think Green Bay is stable. They got guys who can play. They play together. They know each other, and I think they're going to have a good year, a real good year.
The one thing I was telling the audience earlier that I sat yesterday and I was listening to Kenny Stills and Vincey Glenn and a lot of the guys we were sitting with last night and such. They all talk about camaraderie and locker rooms, and
that's it.
And it's one of those things where you can't put a statistic on it, but you know it when you feel it.
That's right.
I remember talking to Brett. I remember talking to Aaron, especially during good runs. They said, it just all came together and the locker room got good. Mm-hmm. Did you always know that? Did you know when you were going to be good? And know
we had a great locker room under Lombardi. Lombardi, he wouldn't have stood for anything else. He was unlike a lot of coaches, Lombardi had played. He was on that Fordham team, the right guard, and the 7 blocks of granite.
Yeah,
so he know, and when he asked you to do something, it was something he had done himself or would do if he could do. But I had other guys. He got other guys coaching. I'm like, sue me. I said Dan Devine.
Right.
He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
He can't sue. He couldn't manage a Mickey Mouse team. He was terrible. And it filters down. They say crap flows downhill. From him, it destroyed the whole team.
Yeah.
He took over a team that should have been in the playoffs and maybe won a championship, and he ran it right into the ground.
Really?
Oh yeah. He killed the locker room. We're talking about the locker room.
And guys in the locker room know that.
The locker room. And he did so many things. And I heard somebody say that when the board of directors were looking for a head coach, they thought they got Dan Devaney from Nebraska. They got the wrong coach. Yeah.
Wrong guy was standing in the aisle.
They were confused. They got Dan Devine from Missouri.
I
said that's where it needs to be, back to Missouri.
Going back as a Packer alum, when you get a chance to talk to Matt LaFleur and some of the other coaches, what impresses you? What impresses you with them?
Well, the thing I got there is that they got unity in the club. The club they love to play with each other, and they trust each other. So I always tell people all the time. They say, "You're a good linebacker." I say, "Yeah," because I had Willie Davis on one side and Herb Rowdy on the other.
Right,
they're two great people.
Yeah,
and they weren't going to let me fail in any way. When I came into the league at Penn State, I had from the center to the sideline. That was that coverage area. I got in, and Willie Davis told me, said, "You keep those tight ends off me, and I got everything from the 7-hole in." Okay. I went to Herb Rowdy. Herb Rowdy said, "Look, I can't mess with the guards, but I can tackle any halfback in the league.
Right.
So you make sure no guards get by you, and I'll take care of the running back." I said, "Okay." Now I got from the 7-hole to here. Jeez, I only have about 7 yards to cover. I said,
right.
Yeah. I said, anybody comes to my territory, I'm going to tear his head off. And that's how we play, man. And I never worried about somebody. When a guy tried to block down on Willie Davis, I took him off Willie, and Willie and I would virtually switch positions. He would pivot outside of me, and I closed down the hole. And Herb, the other way, Herb, when the guards came out, I take the guard on one-on-one. I mean, some big guards. I'm talking about, So, and I take them on one-on-one.
Yeah.
And all I want to do is make sure that guard get by me. And Herb had one-on-one on the head running back. And we stopped. I'm talking Lenny Moore, Gale Sayers, all of them. You go back and check the records. Neither one of them had big days against us. Some of the great running backs, we shut them down.
Speaking of Penn State, you kind of changed because you were playing both ways. You did a lot at Penn State. Right. You kind of changed the way tight ends looked at the time and the linebacker play, which has continued to today. You got a nice introduction last night from Tom Kozer in regards to that. You were kind of a hybrid. You were kind of a back in the day, a lot of guys played both ways, but you were kind of a freak in that sense.
Well, I wanted. I was a poor kid. I couldn't afford to pay for an education, so I couldn't afford to get cut.
Did everything you could.
They said, "Who wants to play guard?" I do. Who wants to play tackle? I'll try it.
Yeah.
In fact, in college, I did play tackle for a while, and my sophomore year, I was a second string guard, and then I ended up at tight end and not linebacker.
Yeah.
But that's my last couple of years. But I played every position.
What was better, catching a pass, maybe for a touchdown, or just lighting somebody up coming through a hole?
The best thing I did was like to hit a guy as hard as I can in his left eye to see if the right eye is going to cry. That's what I did. That's my joy in life. And then when you knock a guy down, I used to stand over him and say, "Get up." I said, "I missed you that time, but I'm going to get you the next time." Yeah. Oh. You got a good hit on him.
Yeah.
God, look at you. And I'll tell you, from the I'll probably insult half the audience, but anyway, we're playing. I don't mention the guy's name, but he's a tight end is a Caucasian, and he put his cold and he put his hands out and said, "Hey, you're gonna try to block me because every time you white boys come out, your knuckles turn red when you put weight on them." He looked at his knuckles. I said, and they don't. By the way, I don't.
Okay,
I just lied to him. I
wasn't lying to
him. But you got to psych him and get him. And they get the thing. And now, see, here's the thing: when they break the huddle, that tight end knows the count. He knows when the ball's going to be snapped. He knows what the play is, where it's going to go, everything. I know nothing. When he comes up, I start talking to him. He listens to me. He's not listening to the quarterback.
Right.
Now on even field, he doesn't move to the ball moves, and I see that. And now we're even. If I can get his attention, he's dead as a door now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole psychological game going on in the trenches, man.
And tight ends are stupid, so. You don't have to listen to anything you say.
No. Well, there's not a tight end around now, so you're bigger than they are. That's okay.
Oh, yeah. And don't dare mention the baby sister or something. No, really
oh my God!
anything to get him, throw him off his game.
How you hitting him? You doing okay today?
Yeah, I'm doing real well. I do very well.
Okay.
That's nothing, but
that's nothing. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not really playing with anybody.
You're here just kind of hanging out,
just going around. Yeah.
Okay.
But I haven't had a bad shot though yet.
Yeah. Well, if you don't hit any, that's not a bad shot.
I had a couple good ones. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, the best shot you're going to take is whatever you order at the bar, right?
That's right.
That's it. Because then you get what you want, no doubt. It's always good to see, man. It's always like a good reunion. Yeah, it's always a good reunion every year that everybody's still alive.
This is a great course too.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time. It's an kind of a unheralded course in the state of Wisconsin.
I'd say I was up here maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and it was nice, but it's nice now.
Yeah,
really nice. Anybody that doesn't come to Turtleback's crazy, because this is a great course to play, man.
Yeah, beautiful for sure. Always love talking to you. Always thanks for stopping
pleasure.
by. You had to climb the stairs to come up and say hi to me, so I appreciate that.
Yeah,
years ago, you might not have been able to do that. But you're looking good. I said when you got introduced the other night, I'm like, man, he's lost some weight. He's
I'm 84, but that's it. You
look a day over 60.
See, I spent all that time in Wisconsin in the cold weather. You don't age.
You don't age. You just kind of frost up, wait for the thaw. You know?
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I really like Wisconsin.
Yep. No, Dave, always a pleasure, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
My pleasure.
There you go. The great Dave Robinson.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. We are live. We're at Turtleback Golf Course. We're at Rice Lake, Wisconsin, the Rice Lake Celebrity Classic. And the sun is shining. We're having a great day today. And we go from one Hall of Famer for the Packers and Dave Robinson to another Hall of Famer who played for the Vikings. The great Paul Krause is joining me here. How you been, man?
I'm doing good.
You know?
I've been having some problems with body.
Yeah.
But I think we got elected.
Yeah.
And
well, at least you figured out what it is.
Huh?
At least you would figure out what it is.
Well, I still have to go do that.
Yeah.
And
neck issues, back pain, all that kind of stuff. I mean, you know.
Back pain. I played never got hurt. And I think it just wore out.
Yeah, well, it's the pounding you take over the years, though, Dan.
Because I was in Phoenix, and man, I says, "Holy cow! I can't even bend my neck and everything else." It was broken neck.
Yeah.
And that's basically.
Do you know when you did it?
Huh?
Do you know when you broke it, or do you just
No.
it just was broken? You didn't know it.
No, that's right.
Wow.
That's right. And I set out half a game, I think.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
the career you had
I
to only
missed-
miss a half a game
Yeah, I missed 2 games.
in your whole career.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And didn't know you had a broken neck.
No.
Wow. That within itself is amazing.
Well,
I mean, you didn't have MRIs and stuff back then,
Yeah.
so it was just an
Yeah.
X-ray and put some dirt on it, and off you go. But,
that's right. And I think it surprised everybody that it was that bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm just working through it.
Yeah. that's grinding. How else do you put? Dude's got a broken neck. I'm working through it. No big deal. Put a hat on. You're good.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yeah, but back then they tried to get everything out of you they could.
Yeah.
And I felt like a couple different times that I had done something to it.
Yeah.
But I guess not bad enough to stop.
Was it? Let me ask you this: did you know when it happened?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yep. Tackled a guy I tackled the guy and pushed him out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went down and my right neck just wasn't any good anymore.
Yeah.
It never hurt me.
Right.
But I played baseball and everything.
Yeah.
And after that, I couldn't even throw.
Really?
Yeah.
So you knew something was going on. It's one of those things at the time, you got a job, you want to keep it to yourself. You don't want anybody to know.
That's right.
Back then.
That's right. That's what I did.
Yeah.
It wasn't too smart, I guess, but that's what I did. And, it carried me through 16 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that's crazy amazing that it was that long and you just kept playing and worked through it. And when you think about it, you were blessed to be able to play 16 years, not have a catastrophic injury. And had it been in today's day and age, that your career would have been over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Immediately. It's kind of like what you don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know, but that's the way the things went.
Yeah.
Then. And I was out in Phoenix, and it started bothering me. Then I came back and I went into 3 different hospitals.
Yeah.
And finally we basically found out
what it was.
But it slowed me down. I that as far as that I can't see, and I can only go that far.
Well, but I'm so pretty. You're missing out because I'm just beautiful.
Oh, say
yes. Moving on. Hey, how'd you enjoy last night? Because last night's always a good time with everybody getting together. And
everybody I thought was getting together.
Yeah.
I think they did some few things that I think that they should have done quicker.
Okay.
And that is getting the people that pay the way.
Yeah.
Getting to know them better.
Yeah.
The
sponsors,
we used to just said, this is Paul Krause, Hall of Famer, blah, blah, blah. And that did nothing for the people that were making the payoffs.
Yeah.
And so I thought right away, this is going to be nice.
Yeah.
Because I like to talk to people.
Yeah.
And they want to talk to me.
Yeah.
And so it can't be, it was a pretty rugged game.
Yeah.
in the first years.
Yeah.
It was all football game or a baseball game and nothing else.
Right.
And that was good for me because I like to play football. But, the people that pay the way and things like that should be able to
mix and mingle.
And mingle. But so I like that.
Yeah.
And
they did give us a lot of time to talk to people last night, to get to know people last night.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was a good group of people.
And I'm not playing golf. I can't
swing a club. What's funny is you're like, I brought my clubs. I really want to go swing.
I did.
Yeah, I know you did.
I did.
I know.
And I'd like to take a little swing and see how I act.
Yeah.
But I can't bang up myself anymore.
Well, hopefully not.
So this, this is a little different game here.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. This is a great event. And
you get to see people. You get to talk to them a lot more.
How many years you been doing this over here?
Oh, I don't know.
It's been a while. I mean, it's been since I've been
probably 8 to 10.
Yeah.
And, it's I never thought of it being a, I got to win type of thing.
Sure.
And this is a lot better.
Yeah.
We're taking pictures of every foursome that we come to.
Right.
And last year and years before, we couldn't do that.
Right. Yeah. The fact that you and Dave Robinson are going out as the Hall of Famers and just saying hi to people. That's fantastic.
Yeah. And I think it's better for the people and it's better for us.
Yeah.
And because, some of those people, they can't play golf really.
Right.
And so I think that they should take a good look at that and, continue it.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. And what they do here in this community is wonderful. And the fact that you guys take the time out to come over, it's really weird because when I tell people we're doing this and the people we get when you go through the list of celebrities, people look at me and say, it's Rice Lake? Rice, like it's this tiny little dot on a map, and
I love
but
this.
they do a great job up here, and they do so much for the community, and this
I love
raises so much money.
here.
Yeah,
the people are so nice, and so that would just add a little bit more to them because I watch the guys that we come upon, and it was never, you want to take a picture with us or something? Never. But now they do that, and the guys really like that, or the women, and whatever. But I think that's what it should be.
Well, the fact that you guys paid your dues and got recognized for it, and you're sitting in the Pro Football Hall of Fame today is, I mean, there's an accolade to go along with that, but there's also a reverence that goes along with that.
That's for sure. I was at the Hall of Fame last week, and I'm doing a 5-day jaunt.
Yeah.
We went to everything.
Yeah.
Businesses and high schools and all of that. And, I liked it.
Yeah.
Because you can talk to the kids, you can talk to the guys, and the business people, everything.
Yeah.
And I think it gave us more an outlook on what we should do.
Yeah. That's great stuff. Paul, it's always good to see you. I'm going to let you go.
Well, thank you.
Back out there. Appreciate it very much. Always great to see you. And make sure you don't do anything crazy with the neck. No motorcycle riding, no skateboarding.
No.
And then we'll reconvene.
I don't even drive the car.
Oh, well, there you go. Then just stay safe. Strap it in the back. You're good to go.
Yeah. If
then you and I will reconvene here again next year.
Yeah. If my wife comes with me, she drives.
Okay.
And or if somebody else comes with me, they drive.
There you go.
So, but this is still a great outing.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun for me.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome to see you. And like
thank
I
you.
said, stay well, and we'll talk again next year.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
All righty.
The Hall of Famer, Paul Krause, joining us for a couple of minutes. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Big River Rally coming to La Crosse, Wisconsin, June 27th and 28th. Don't miss the excitement on the main stage Friday night. It's Texas Hippie Coalition. And Saturday night Drowning Pool. Tickets are on sale now. Want more? Follow Big River Rally on social or go to BigRiverRally.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Will I be able to hear? I think so.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. The Bill Michaels Show. We are live. We are here in Rice Lake, Wisconsin at the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic at Turtleback Golf Course. A tremendous community event. Support to the program brought to you by our friends over there at Calderon Club, downtown Milwaukee, 838 Old World 3rd Street. A tremendous Italian church. And if you're in the Milwaukee area tomorrow night, I might see you down there. I got a business dinner down there tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. Going down to say hi to Gino and the gang. Joining us up here is a good friend and back then it was the fireman.
Fireman of the year.
Was it the Roll Age Relief Man?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Okay. The Roll Age Relief Man of the Year for the Milwaukee Brewers, Kenny Sanders. How you been?
I've been good. I just like to renegotiate my contract.
So let me ask you. Okay, they bring up Mizorowski.
Yep.
Everybody's been waiting for him to come up.
Yep.
They send Savali to the bullpen. Savali wants to be traded now. Pissed off. So if you're in now, I'm not saying they should take the advice, but if you're in the organization, you're a guy in that team, and you go from being a starter to now going to the pen, coming off of your injury and all that kind of stuff. What do? Do you just say, "Hey, I'm going to go out and just work on the best I can and try to make my value"? But once you say, "I want to be traded," it kind of devalues you because people know then you want out.
Well, it tells me one thing about him, that he's got some dog in him.
Yeah.
He wants a pitch.
Okay.
He wants to pitch good. He wants to be a starter. And I think he's smart enough to know if he goes down there and screws around, and he could blow his value because
Right.
he's pitched good here.
Yeah.
And he's a nice spare card for the Brewers,
Right.
because in all of baseball today, every day a pitcher goes down.
Right.
So it is what it is, but Mizorowski, I'm surprised he hasn't been up the last year or two, because he's been the best pitcher in minor leagues,
Yeah.
all minor leagues.
Yeah, he was working a little control, but they feel like he's got it toned up now, and
Yeah.
so we'll get a chance to witness this kid coming up. I'm always excited when a new guy like that has so much hope comes up, because you got so much hope for him.
Yeah, and he throws so hard. He's 6'7". He's lean, but he's got a lot of fortitude. So
Yeah.
it's going to be fun watching.
So was Randy
him.
Johnson. He was
Yeah.
a big wiry guy that
Yeah.
threw over 90.
Yeah,
So.
and if he can beat those Cardinals,
Think about
I
this.
love it.
We were talking the other day. I mean, back in the day, Nolan Ryan threw 90, and that was cooking.
Yep.
Now if you throw 90, you're still in the minors. It's
You're
amazing.
right. And, Rockwell, I was playing with the California Angels, and Rockwell came out to clock Nolan Ryan. They put a electric eye in the back of this the screen, and when he got to about 180 pitches in the 7th inning, they clocked him at 100.8. And the guys on the team were saying, "You got to throw 75 miles an hour to register." I said, "I ain't pitching tonight." I don't want to.
What was the fastest you ever threw?
Probably mid-80s.
Yeah.
But I had great control, great slider. In 10 years, I pitched in the big leagues. I never threw one curveball.
Really?
Fastball, changeup, and a slider. Off of the slider, if you throw it a little harder, it's a cut fastball. And if you take it a little off, it's what they call a sweeper today.
So, okay, now let me ask you this. Why did we change the names from curve to swerve and sweeper? And what, is it just something that people want to put a different stamp on it? It's the same pitch.
Right. And I think you're right. They want to put a different stamp on it. And now everybody's calling them sweepers,
Yeah.
the guys in the broadcast booth. But it's all changed. And, my era, everybody was afraid of the curveball because of your elbow.
Throw your elbow out.
And then, they didn't have Tommy John surgery in the 60s, 70s until the 80s. But that snap on your elbow with a curveball. So that's why most guys threw sliders.
Right. And that's the thing is that, curveball, if you learned how to throw a curveball and you could throw it to the two seam over the top, it wasn't as hard on your elbow, but boy, did you get drop on that thing.
That's right.
If you could master that, you could figure it out, especially if you could start it up around the head and end up at the knees.
Well, Megal with the Brewers, he's got that knuckle curve. Of course, he's about 6'8", and so I'm sure he's got big hands that he can throw that, and he gets a lot of strikeouts of those guys swinging balls in the dirt.
What do you think of the team this year? Because last year, a lot of success, and the way they did it was so exciting, and small ball and stealing bases and putting pressure on other defenses. This year, they got a sinkhole. They got just the inability to continually put the ball in play. They went on the run, and then all of a sudden everything just cooled off.
Well, everybody knows they have good pitching, and they've got to get some production out of that lower end of the lineup.
Yes.
I like Ortiz fielding, but man, he's got to put a few balls in play, like you say. In Burden, he's won a couple big games, but he's got 2 home runs for the year, and is a time if you really want to make a run, because you're going to have Woodruff coming back, and you got to get a third baseman.
Yeah.
You got to get somebody that can drive in some runs, and you can't waste all these pitching performances. So I like what I see with their pitching, and these young pitchers and these guys they've thrown out there have done an outstanding job.
Right.
So get them some runs.
Yep, no doubt. So far as coming up here and enjoying this and getting a chance to, and we got Augie up here this year. Billy Castro's up here this year, which is nice.
Yeah, and Gantner's back
Gumby, I saw him and his wife.
Yeah, and so we 3 of us brought our wives because it's not that far a ride from Milwaukee.
Right.
And it's a fun event, mostly football players, as you know, and a lot of them are 60, 70, 80 years old, and so it's really fun because a lot of us grew up in the same era, and David Robinson, who's my age, 84, we talked about him and Euchre working for Schlitz when they first.
Oh, that's right. They both. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they used to go to work at 10:30, open their mail, leave at 11.
Yeah,
and then you see them next morning at 10:30.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you were up there last night. You were talking a little bit, and most of the stories you can't tell on the air about Bob, but the close inner circle kind of knew that he was ailing, but I was telling your wife. She was talking to me at the beginning of last night, and she said, it's different without Bob and this and that. And I said, it didn't dawn on me. I mean, he passed, but it didn't dawn on me. You miss him until I was driving home. It was like first week of the season. And I didn't go to opening day because we were doing a broadcast, but it was the first week, and a promo came on that for Brewers tickets. And Bob wasn't in it. Normally you're like, hey, struck him out. Or you hear the get up, get out of here. And then you get that call. And it wasn't. It was Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle and even Brian Anderson. And it was so weird that the voice of summer was no longer there.
Well, I met Bob and Harvey Keene in 1970, and neither one of them had jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then Harvey became a coach with the Brewers, and then Bob, of course, in 71 came and broadcast. And my wife and I from St. Louis, everybody's St. Louis fan. One of my brother-in-laws said, oh, Euchre, he's getting more accolades than Mickey Mantle, all of those guys, Willie Mays, and et cetera. And I said, he's bigger than all of them put together because all the things he did in different sports are going to we're going to live with the rest of our lives.
Right.
And it is really weird that he's gone, but he left us with so many memories.
Yeah.
And he really suffered at the end. He died 10 days before his 91st birthday. But I laugh at some of the crazy things we did, and we hear them all over. But when you turn in that radio and Uke's not there, It is. It'll take us a few years probably to get over that, if at all.
Really? Did you sign the Bob Uecker piece here? Because there was a couple of them. Did you?
Yeah.
I heard there was an emotional thing for people, like they didn't want to sign it. It was like, that's Bob's, that's not ours.
Yeah, and I signed it Mr. Baseball, and Johnny Carson gave him the name Mr. Baseball.
Yeah.
And Al Hurt was the first one in '69. He befriended Uecker in Atlanta, and he's the one that got him on the Today Show.
Yeah. With Johnny Carson, who then became over, was 110?
Tonight Show, yeah.
Or the Tonight Show was 100?
100 and some.
Yeah, crazy.
And then my kids, when we watched first episode of Belvedere, my kids said, "This'll never make it." And look, he did over 100 episodes of that.
It was funny because I'd asked him one time about doing Major League, and he was talking about Major League, and then somebody had mentioned Major League 2 and then Belvedere. And Bob looked at me and looked at him, and he was kind of disgruntled. You know how Bob was, and he's like, "You ought to do any blanket thing when they back up a Brinks truck of money, So, and he said, "But don't remind me of that bike," I said, but Bob did a lot of stuff.
Well, that Major League 1 and Major League 2, that was real Major League. That's how it really, the crazy stuff that went on.
Right.
Not Bull Durham. Well, a little bit, but. I had a friend that was in Peru about 6 months ago, and he got on an airplane and he sat down, and there were 3 guys that got on. They had to walk to the back of the plane, and one of them hollered, "We must be in the front row."
Really?
So even in Peru,
still iconic like that. Yeah, that's something that'll live forever. I really believe it will. So I know I'm going to let you go back out and hit them, and we're running up against a break. But always good to see you, man. Hit them straight.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Otherwise,
root for the Brewers.
Yeah,
we're hanging in there.
Good stuff. All right. Kenny Sanders
Thanks,
joining us. Kenny Sanders joining us for a couple of minutes here at the table. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. Coming up, who's going to join us up here? Just a couple of minutes, or a minute. He's like, I'm going to do the show. And then said, I'll be back. I got to the bathroom. So, let me direct for the bathroom.
That's very relatable.
Eddie Lacy is going to be here in just a minute. So we'll talk to Eddie Lacy. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Dream Vacations. Dream Vacations, they're the ones that put us together down in Punta Cana, man. It was a fantastic trip. They squeezed everybody, all 10 of us, together. It was like herding cats, and they put together one hell of a trip. Get a hold of our friends over there at Dream Vacations, 414-208-4221, 414-208-4221. Again, that's Michael and Melissa over there at Dream Vacations. Again, 414-208-4221. We are in Rice Lake, Wisconsin at the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic, and which is just a fantastic event up here, and I've talked about it a lot, probably maybe too much for some of you, but it is just such a spectacular event. And you got kids running around the golf course getting autographs and pictures and such, and anyway, all that kind of stuff. But it's a good time. So if you've ever had a chance to come up here and do that, by all means, get yourself into the Golf Classic, and the Golf Classic sells out like that. I mean, the community really supports it. So good stuff. We've got another hour yet to go. Coming up the next hour, we're going to be talking to, we're going to hear from Matt LaFleur at some point, and who's also going to be speaking to the media today as well. And then also, who else do we got coming up in the next hour, Grant? Who am I missing?
I was just typing. We got Matt Pauley to preview Brewers Cardinals.
And Matt Pauley is going
about
to
115
preview the Brewers and the Cardinals coming up. So, which is good stuff within itself. So there you have it. So got that as well. Mark just said, what's the weather? The weather is good. It's not bad here, as a matter of fact. And when you talk about the weather, they're expecting rain, but the rain's going to hold off. It's not going to happen until a little bit later on this evening. So anyway, that being said, they're going to be able to get this thing in and then still have a terrific evening here. And the auction and such that they have coming up is fantastic as well. Let's get him a headset. There we go. There's our guy. Eddie Lacy joining us. How you been?
I've been all right.
You know, you say, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Got to get the brat, the hot dog, the chips, and then you're good to go.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. How you been? What have you been up to?
I've been out in AZ.
Hey, let's bring you over here so we can get you the camera shot. There we go. There's Eddie. There you go.
Here I am.
There we go.
But I haven't been up too much, man. I'm out in Scottsdale, Arizona, enjoying the weather.
Yeah.
You
had some weird weather out there. Some cold weather out there for a while, didn't you?
I mean, I wasn't complaining because the longer it stay cold, the less it stay hot.
Right. What took you to Arizona? You're not from there originally, are you?
No, I'm from Louisiana.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, it's hot down there too, though.
They got the bad humidity down there.
Yeah.
Arizona ain't that much better. They got dry heat. But
yeah.
I would say the scenery.
Yeah.
Would be my first attraction. I mean, Louisiana. I love Louisiana. It's where I'm from, born and raised. But I don't know. It's just something about like waking up every day, seeing the mountains.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think I would like it.
What are you doing now? What are you just kind of chilling and hanging out, or what are you doing now?
For the most part, yeah, chilling, hanging out. I'm trying to get into streaming video games and stuff because I like to play video games.
You're doing that to get a hold of Amon Green. He's doing that big time
yeah,
now.
I know. So last time I saw him, it was during the draft.
Yeah.
When the draft was out here. I was supposed to like contact him so he can teach me how to do it. But yeah, pretty much I'm gonna follow after him.
Yeah, because he's big into it. We saw him.
Yeah.
He was at Super Bowl promoting that stuff too.
Yeah,
that's what you need to do. Get on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Head over to San Francisco next year. We'll see you over there. Hang out with us.
Maybe he'll give me a.
Would be cool. This is what you do: is you come with us, you work for us, and then you go, walk Radio Row. You snag a few guests. You come over and hang out with us, and we'll talk some streaming and gaming. And
you know what? That don't really sound like a bad idea.
You got nothing going on. You're just chilling,
That
right?
don't sound like a bad idea.
Favorite game?
My favorite game is Madden.
Okay.
Madden's my favorite game.
Yeah.
But I like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and a bunch of like story mode adventure type games.
Yeah. After Green, I mean, the thing about it is with Green Bay, once a Packer, always a Packer, right?
Right, correct.
Yeah. It's good to see all these guys here. I mean, you always get a chance to see the legends when you're walking around Lambeau Field when you're first indoctrinated to the Green Bay Packers. But to get the chance to come up here and just hang out with them, kind of nice.
Yeah. So the first time I've ever got to hang around any of the alumni was about, I think it was last year. It was either last year or the year before when I came to my first alumni weekend. And I thought it was like the coolest thing ever because, for one, I get to meet these guys for the first time in person. And the second thing, which I think is kind of tied for number one, is just sitting around because I'm a lot younger, but just sitting around and listening to them share their stories,
right.
Like what happened when they played and like everything that they remember. And I'm like, geez, like you guys are so detailed in your memory. I'm like, I can't remember what I did in 2014. You guys talking about what y'all did in like 1970.
Right.
And like just to see like their energy and like how much they come alive when they get to share those stories with each other. It was super, super cool.
I was sitting at the table last night listening to Kenny Stills and Vincey Green, and then Paul Krause was over at the table next to us, and just like that, they're all sharing stories about what they did, and they still can remember the call of the play.
Exactly. And I'm like, if you put on like a Packers game right now, like, well, not right now, but let's say like when Rodgers is still here, like I'll hear like maybe like a word or like an audible, and I'll be like, oh, they'll do this, but like that's as far as my memory go. Like, I can't be like, this is the formation, this dude just motion. All right, this might be like I can't do that.
Just never studied it like that, huh?
Those guys,
yeah.
It's like they remember it as if like they're still in it right now.
Yeah, and no doubt about it. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go down and eat your dog and hang out. And now, are you hitting them today?
Man, you know what? I had one good hit so far. But I'm most happy about the fact that I've only lost one golf ball.
Okay.
So
you're rating your game not necessarily on how you play, but what you don't lose.
Yeah, because I have a lot of golf balls. This is my first time ever golfing.
Is it really?
Yes. Seriously.
Okay.
Yes, I've never golfed before. So I have a whole Ziploc bag down there full of golf balls because I told him I might lose some. Ziploc bag. So I have a whole Ziploc bag, but I only lost one so far.
Well,
so
the best part
good.
is you didn't show up with a shopping bag, one of those old brown shopping bags, like that was your luggage or something like that.
Like, what you have in there? Just golf balls.
Just my golf balls.
It's a long day. I have
dirty
no
ass
idea.
gym shoes.
Oh man,
Eddie, it's always it's always a pleasure hanging out with you, man. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Thanks for coming by, and I'll let you eat your dog and head back down. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Eddie Lacy hanging out with us for a couple of minutes up here at the table. Great. He didn't show with a dirty ass bag. Grocery bag of golf balls. That's fantastic. I love that stuff. Hey, coming up in the next hour, at some point we'll probably hear from Matt LaFleur. Matt Pauley's going to join us, preview the Brewers and the Cardinals. That's good stuff as well. And we'll have a lot more. We'll have whoever happens to swing by the table here. Hopefully, we get one or two more of the guest celebrities up here. But it is always fun. It's always been a good time to come up here and just kind of hang out and enjoy everybody's memories. But that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Good stuff. Let's do this. Oh, by the way, this portion of the program, can't forget our great sponsors. Our friends over there at Todd's Ready Mix. Todd's Ready Mix, they've been a big sponsor of ours in this program up here in this area for a long time. And if you're looking for anything in this area, dirt or gravel or sand or filler or ready mix in itself, cement, you name it, Todd's got something for everybody. And he can always help you, whether it's a small backyard project or you're building roads, man. Todd's Ready Mix, that is the way to go. Always great. And he sponsored Eddie Lacy coming up here, which is nice. So Todd's Ready Mix brings you this portion of the program and our interview with Eddie Lacy. That's fantastic, former Packer. Let's do this. We'll step out. We'll take a quick break. We will come back. Stay tuned. Final hour of the Bill Michaels Show. There's a lot more to go. You don't know what's going to happen here at the table. Swing by. Say hello. Got a lot more coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, Aaron Savale has requested a trade from the Brewers. That's according to The Athletic. Comes after Savale was moved out of the rotation and into the bullpen to make room for the call-up of Jacob Mizrowski. Manager Pat Murphy said yesterday that Savale did not take the news well. Savale was acquired via trade last July from Tampa Bay. Missed more than a month earlier this year with an injury. He's 1-2 with a 4.91 ERA. Gave up 2 runs over 4 2/3 innings in his last outing. As for the club, they have lost 2 straight series. Were held to 2 runs or fewer in 4 of the 6 games, including a pair of shutouts. Murphy said that they aren't getting the contributions necessary right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're guys that, Terang and Frelick are on-base guys. Durbin and Ortiz have to be guys that collectively help us move runners or get themselves on base too. And Churio Contreras, Yelich, and Hoskins have got a bang, and that didn't all happen.
Milwaukee will open a series tonight against St. Louis. Cardinals a half game in front of the Brewers in the NL Central and 5 games back of first place Chicago. First pitch tonight is at 6:40.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
If you're interested in a rewarding career with a strong Wisconsin company, Rural Mutual Insurance is looking to add to their growing team of successful employees and agents. Apply online today at ruralmutual.com/careers.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Well, the Packers were on the field this morning for the final time this offseason as they close out their 3-day mini camp. Usually, the final day is a team-building exercise away from the practice field, but Coach Matt LaFleur decided to practice instead after cutting the offseason program short by a week. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome in. Final hour of the Bill Michaels Show. Great that you are with us. And thanks for taking a listen. Thanks for putting up with the program today. I mean, it's one of those where it's kind of off the rails a little bit because you never know who's going to swing by and at what point in time they're going to swing by. But, man, great to get Eddie Lacy up here and Paul Krause and Dave Robinson, 2 Hall of Famers. Not just team Hall of Famers, but actual pro football Hall of Famers to swing by the table as well. And to get Kenny Sanders up here for a little bit, the Bulldog, to get his perspective on Brewers and such. And good discussion regarding Bob Uecker and the passing of Bob. So touching on a lot of stuff today. The last hour, pretty good. Let's do this while we have time. I've been promising you this for a while now. Matt LaFleur spoke to the media, and I wanted you to get a chance to take a listen to it. Take a listen. Matt LaFleur talking to the media.
At the end of practice. Yeah, it was a great throw. I mean, hit the guy right in stride, and now it's questionable whether or not he gets that ball off or not. So.
Well, you just thought we're one practice away from getting the main draft towards start of season here.
Yeah, I think it's been as good as it could have been in terms of just we're so limited in what we can do. But in terms of working on the core fundamentals and being consistent with that, I think he's done a nice job.
He had been productive the last couple of years as he had been early in his career. What have you all seen from him so far? What made y'all think that you might have something?
Well, I think, obviously the value as a returner has always been there. And he has had some production, and obviously he's made some big plays throughout the course of his career. And so just nice to have, a guy that's played in some big time moments. And so just let him, you always want competition, because I'm a big believer in the more comp you have, the more it pushes everybody, and then you're going to get the most out of everyone and see the best version of them. So, yeah, it's great to have a guy like that.
New experience in the league. How many years or games, starts for a quarterback do you think it takes before you really know what you got there?
I think every case is a little different. So, I mean, I feel pretty confident that we know what we have in Jordan, and we got a lot of confidence in him. I'm assuming that's who you're talking about. So,
In the interruption.
Here you go.
The pass rush at the end, why the offense was doing the push-ups after practice?
No, that was from a team competition that we had this morning, where we throw people's faces up on the screen and always put the rookies up there, one offense, one defense. Today we had 2 from offense, 2 from defense. And, they have to, whoever gets the most right wins the competition. So it's just, fun ways to incorporate competition, but also I think it's important, you probably should know the people in the building who you're working with on a daily basis. If you ever want to develop any sort of connection with them, the people you're working with, from the coaches to the players to athletic trainers to equipment, PR, it doesn't matter. Everybody, the kitchen staff. Like how I threw that in there. Yeah, you like that.
Matt, I know in the past, on the final day of mini camp, you've done some sort of team building thing. Is that your plan for tomorrow, or are you guys going to be on the field?
We'll be on the field tomorrow. I think that is team building, right? Yeah. When you're going through some hard stuff together. And so I just think with kind of the circumstances of this year, the fact that the bone is really next week, not having them all in here. And also kind of what we did at the beginning. So I think it's important for us to maximize our time and get that work in.
Matt, this is a little off topic, but the NFL, I think, added some things that replay assist can correct to prevent you guys from having to challenge stuff. Do you think that's going to have a positive impact on those kind of plays?
Yeah, I think anytime they can take it out of our hands in terms of, I know you guys cringe every time I pull that red flag out. So the less I have to do that, the better, I guess.
You're one of the better ones, though, among active coaches in terms of.
You know what? That's very nice of you to say, Rob. I appreciate that. Can you remind all your colleagues out there that?
Top 6.
Okay. I never knew that. You learn something new every day.
Is there a challenge you're particularly proud of that you got right?
I can't really recall one. Do you recall one? Okay. Waller's, little help here. I need a lifeline. I'm sure, yeah. Everyone you don't win.
So with the losing or skipping week OTs, however you want to frame it, are you still installing stuff now? I guess, or where are you as far as?
Yeah, I would say you're always making little tweaks here and there, but I would say the majority of the install that these guys are going to have to know throughout training camp is pretty much in. And then there'll be stuff that as we have, 30 plus days to get creative when there's no pressure, when you're just sitting there and thinking about things, that I'm sure that there'll be a couple ideas that kind of come up upon us over the course of the summer.
You mentioned Hardman and the competition he brings to the receiver room. As a veteran player, how has he embraced kind of the competitive?
Yeah, he's done a great job. I think all those guys have. Really, everybody on our team, I think they have come in with the right mentality, the right mindset. Just, all you can control is the things that you do. So that's where your focus should be. If you're worried about anybody else, you're not focused on the right things.
Matt, I know week 8's a long ways away, but your thoughts on Aaron signing with the Steelers, and if you've talked with him at all since you did?
I have not. No, I think I've been saying it for a while now. I totally anticipated this. Probably took a little longer than I even anticipated, but it doesn't shock me. So, it'll be a great challenge for us. We all know what type of player he is and how good he is, and I'm sure he'll be telling everybody all our signals. So we'll have to, maybe play that mind game with him a little bit.
Mentioned multiple times now the limitations that there are now on this time of year. Years ago, when Saturday was here for a year, he turned to a bunch of us while we're watching practice and said, "Does that look like non-contact to you?" You've really limited that. I understand that you have to follow the rules and they're the same for everybody, but do you feel as a coach that you're not quite where you would like to be with training camp coming?
Well, the thing that I think there's so much value in, especially with a lot of our younger players that may have not, all the rookies that haven't played in this league, is obviously you want to teach them what to do, but you also want to teach them how to practice and how to work together, but still compete to get the most out of them. Because the reality is when we get to the regular season, and we'll have time throughout the course of training camp to try to teach that, but you'd like most of that teaching to be done. But the reality is when you get to the regular season, the majority of your practices are not padded. So how do you get the work in, playing competitively, but still taking care of each other? And I think that there's a lot of value in that, especially this time of the year.
I don't know if we had a chance to talk about this, but we talked to Sean and Kenny about, they're going over to Kenny's house 2 or 3 nights a week. We can wait to look at indie tape,
That's great. I love hearing that.
How much do you bring those guys in and say, is this going on? Or, encourage you? I know it's happening.
We always encourage it. I think that's part of the job of our position coaches as well, is try to make sure these guys are getting together and establishing that bond, that brotherhood. I think that when you're more connected, you're naturally going to fight for the guy next to you that much harder. So I always think those things, you can't get enough of them, especially here. I'm like, what are you guys going to do? You just go sit in your house or your apartment, wherever you are. Like, why not get together? I know Josh Jacobs, I want to say last week, took a bunch of guys bowling. And I think some of the vets went as well. So yeah, you always encourage that, but ultimately it can't be forced, right? It's got to organically happen. You can stress it, but they got to want to do it.
Matt, where do you think Carrington's at now in year 3? You asked him to bulk up last year. He did it. Like, he seems to do everything he does.
Yeah, he's been extremely coachable, high character guy, busts his butt every day, has approached it the right way. So I'm excited for him. I think he continues to prove, and the more he plays, the better he gets. So I'm excited for him.
What's the next step for Evan Williams? He was all rookie, made some plays. What's next for him?
Just continue to be, I think he's got to continue to learn his body. And because I know there were some injuries last year, just to make sure that he's available. But I think just building on what he's already done and being consistent with it. Again, another guy that loves the game. He's extremely intelligent. He comes in with the right mentality, and he just works.
Learning your body, what kind of do you need, just knowing what it can take, what it can't take in terms of—
Yeah, I think all of that, just knowing how you get your body prepared for practice, how you rehab, just the preventative maintenance, what you're putting into your body. I think all of that's, it takes time to learn that. And as you grow and mature, I think you're a little bit more mindful of the things that you're doing.
With Jordan Morgan and left tackle and competition along the offensive line in general, what are some of the things you're evaluating this time of year when the pads are not?
Well, it's harder too, right? It's more or less just making sure that they're using the right techniques and knowing what to do more so than anything else. But I still think you can work your technique even in a slower paced period, in a jog through. And then obviously when we got to those full speed periods, those 2-minute drills, it's going to be predominantly pass. I would say 95+%, if not higher. So, there's a lot of value too going through all the drills. You're always watching the drills, evaluating them, but ultimately you got to see when the pads come on.
what have you been able to learn about Jacob Monk with him getting all the work that helped?
Yeah, he's done a nice job. Again, another guy that's just I can tell you he's a lot more comfortable in terms of and confident in terms of going out there knowing what to do. And for him, it's just going to come down to those live reps.
There you go. That's Matt LaFleur talking to the media and kind of, he didn't really, I don't think he even realized when Mike Clemens asked him the question that some of these guys are heading over to Kenny Clark's house and, kind of getting together and doing some things defensively to help each other learn. But nevertheless, it was much like when we had Dave Robinson up here. Dave said, hey, I got together with Willie Davis and the guys and said, what do you do well? What do I do well? And let's work together in building that camaraderie. I mean, you hear that so much, a theme throughout, at least what you would assume would be or hope to be successful teams. So interesting stuff. Let's do this. We're going to step out. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. And I got Matt Pauley's going to be coming up and talking some St. Louis Cardinals baseball, getting you ready for the Cardinals and the Brewers. And we are broadcasting live at Turtleback Golf Course. We are here in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, for the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic, which is now out on the course and underway. And they've got a big dinner coming up tonight. Henry, I don't know if it's Henry Ammunition or Henry Guns. But Henry, the manufacturer of these incredible guns, and one of the things that's up here is they've got a gun, an old rifle, and it's the serial number 00001, and it's worth a ton of money. And I wish I was going to be here tonight to see what this thing was going to go to, but Henry Guns is one of the bigger sponsors up here. And there's a lot, obviously, within the hunting community in this area as well. But Henry Guns and Mosaic, who is a big intellectual supporter up here, internet property supporter up here, and Link Ford and such, who are always involved in this. So many shout outs to a lot of the great sponsors that do all of this up here for the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Outing. But I just wanted to give them a little bit of a shout as well. Got to give a shout out to our guy Ryan and the gang over there at Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill in Pewaukee on Pewaukee Lake, Lakeview Boulevard. And that's where you stop in, you say hi, you can catch maybe the Brewers game and get some really good food, pizzas, wraps. They have got a tremendous chef salad over there as well. Sit outside on the deck, watch the boats be going in and out over there at Pewaukee Lake by Smokey's Bait Shop. Yeah, not a bad way to go. That is and have the Brewers game on as well. Nice, peaceful, relaxing night. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill on Pewaukee Lake on Lakeview Boulevard in Pewaukee. More of the Bill Michaels Show up here in Rice Lake coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels here. Your two wheels revved up because here it comes. The Big River Rally where the river meets the road. It rolls into La Crosse on June 27th and 28th. Join us for a weekend packed with action. Stunt shows, a killer bike show, food trucks, all kinds of awesome vendors. Friday, Rod's River Run with Texas Hippie Coalition lighting up the stage that night. Then Saturday is the Big River Rally Ride. Miles and miles of pure freedom. Then Saturday night, Drowning Pool rocks the house. Grab your tickets right now. BigRiverRally.com. That's BigRiverRally.com, and I'll see you there.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, The Bill Michaels Show.
I get a good feeling.
Broadcasting live here in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. It wasn't but a week ago that we were cruising around over in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And Buzzard Billy's stopping in, having a little beverage, some dinner. Great time, great atmosphere, great time. That seems to be like whenever anybody comes to town, Buzzard Billy's is one of the places you gotta go. That beer cheese soup over there is, I can bathe in that stuff. It's so good. But they have all kinds of great specials, great drink specials during the summer as well. The outside dining is open. Don't forget about the Starlight Lounge upstairs, the 1950-style cocktail lounge located right there on the second floor of that 1860s old brick hotel. Beautiful building right there on Pearl Street in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Buzzard Billy's downstairs. And then upstairs, of course, you got the Starlight Lounge. Good stuff. Joining us now on the hotline is Matt Pauley from KMOX Radio down there in St. Louis, covering the Cardinals. Big series coming up, and both teams scuffling a little bit. Matt, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Rice Lake, that's where Lance Allen is from, right?
You are one, and Lance is here.
Oh, okay. How about that? Tell Lance hello for me.
I will definitely do that. Lance is here floating around somewhere playing some golf today in the Classic. I have to work, otherwise I'd be out there, but Lance took the day off, so I will. I'll pass along your hello. So, Matt, tell me a little bit about the losing streak right now for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, the Cardinals over the last they just went 3-6 on a homestand, and bluntly, they aren't doing a whole lot right. There's a bunch of guys who are slumping offensively. Pretty much everybody not named Wilson Contreras, Ivan Herrera. And to be fair, Nolan Arenado's been swinging it okay over the last few days as well. And then from a pitching standpoint, they're not getting length out of their starters. They're not getting high production out of their starters. And the bullpen's been letting them down, including Ryan Helsley, who has a blown save in each of his last 3 appearances. So not great right now for the Cardinals, who for a 3-4 week period were playing some of the best baseball in all of Major League Baseball before this recent slump.
Yeah, well, the Brewers got hot. The Cubs, they all got hot at the same time. And one of the things that I said is so frustrating is that we were looking for the Brewers to get on that run, win like 13 out of 15 or something. And then, damn, they did. And they gained exactly 1 game on the Cubs. And the problem is the Cubs seemingly have put it all together as well. And they're just kind of outpacing everybody, or at least, outdurancing everybody at this point. So this series matchup, I mean, obviously the Cardinals are coming in trying to get right. They're trying to catch the Brewers at a good time, but the Brewers as well, offensively speaking, not hitting the ball. So give me your synopsis of the pitching staff as the Cardinals come in here with a 4-game series to face the Brewers and to what they've got going up against the Crew.
Yeah, I think right now the one guy in the rotation for the Cardinals that you feel good about is Sonny Gray. He's been pretty consistent. He's only had 1 or 2 starts this year. That's been a little bit less than what you expect out of him. And then outside of that, it's been very hit or miss. Matthew Liberatore had been really, really good. His last 3 were not great. He's not going to pitch in this series. It's going to be Fedde, Palante, and Michaelis. Fedde's best is really, really good, but it's not consistent. Palante is somebody who his last start was good, but he was coming off multiple starts in a row that just weren't very good. And he's a guy who pitches to contact, and he's always going to give up some hard contact. He's really reliant upon the soft contact being outs, and when those soft contact hits find their way through, he's going to have a rough day. And then Miles Michaelis was on a really, really, really good run, but his last start, he didn't look very good. So again, it's Sonny Gray and then a bunch of guys who are hit or miss right now.
I remember when Michaelis came up. I think he came up against the Brewers, if I'm not mistaken, and he looked like Cy Young and pitched extremely well for a long period of time. And I know he's kind of like, what is it, fourth in the rotation right now. Talk about Michaelis, because he was always a guy that I thought was on the verge of breaking through that just never consistently kind of got to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so he began his career back in like 2012, 2013, and eventually went overseas. And when he came back, he was a different guy. He's had some really good seasons with the Cardinals. He had sub-3 ERA in 2018. He had a 3.29 in 2022. He was an all-star in 2022. But over the last two seasons coming into this one, Bill, his ERA was over 5. I think he had the third worst ERA of qualified starters over the last 2 years coming into this season. He spent a lot of time we're trying to change the way he approaches guys. Basically, he throws too many strikes, which is kind of funny to say, but he'll get ahead of a guy 0-2, and then he'll just groove a middle fastball for some reason. So the thing he's done this year is he has attempted to throw more outside the zone. For the most part, it's been really effective. He's got a 4.48 ERA right now, but before his last start, it was sub-4. He had a month of May where he pitched to a 3.08 ERA. So I give Miles Michaelis a lot of credit. It looked like he was on the edge of his career being over, and he has mostly had a renaissance this year.
The interesting thing was that it was kind of an offseason in which you thought, okay, they're in flux. Are they going to go young? Are they getting rid of some of the contracts? And they really didn't go young. I mean, you got 5 guys in the lineup right now that are 30 or older, if I'm not mistaken. So where is the team as far as it's not a rebuild? It's not a retool. I mean, I don't even know what to call it. They're in second place, don't get me wrong. But where are the Cardinals as a franchise right now?
Yeah, they'll tell you it was a transition. They went into the year attempting to go young, and they did not pick up the option on Paul Goldschmidt. They let Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson walk out the door, but they went to Sonny Gray, Wilson Contreras, and Nolan Arenado and said, do any of you guys want to get traded? And Gray and Contreras said, no, we want to be Cardinals. Arenado said, yes, but it has to be to this list of teams. Nobody on that list could work out a deal with Arenado, so he's here as well. So what they really wanted to accomplish this season in terms of giving a lot of players runway, they've been able to do that to a certain extent. Guys like Lars Nootbaar and Brendan Donovan have really kind of become the centerpiece of this team. Ivan Herrera is another guy. But like a guy like Nolan Gorman, who's playing a little bit more right now because there's been some injuries to Jordan Walker and Brendan Donovan, they haven't been able to really give Gorman that everyday opportunity that they would have been able to give him if Nolan Arenado would have been traded. So it's a weird time for the Cardinals. John Mozeliak is in his final season as the president of baseball operations. Chaim Bloom is already in the organization, but right now his main job is to try to completely redo the draft and development system. They brought in a ton of new people in that area in the offseason. They were very vocal and very open about the fact that that's what the offseason focus was going to be, on redeveloping the way they do player development. But when at the end of the day, they've played pretty good baseball this year, and they've been in a playoff spot for a lot of the season. They're not right now, but they have been much of the season.
Well, that's just it. They're 36-32, 4 games over. They're 5 games back. Was that the expectation? I mean, because my question is, you're in you use the word transition. You're in a transition. But if say the Cubs slip a little bit and the Cardinals go back on another run, do they then turn around and go, well, we're buyers. We're not sellers. We're not trying to get rid of guys. We're actually trying to win the division and move into the postseason. Would that be the mentality at that point then?
Yeah, I think so. I think if they are in position either to win the division or in position to get a wild card spot, they would buy a little bit. I don't think it's going to be a big time buy, but they could add a relief pitcher. Maybe they could add a back of the rotation starter. They just don't have a lot of starting pitching depth right now. If they have an injury or two in the starting rotation, they are in big trouble. I don't know if they have in the organization anything to be able to make up for that. So yeah, they're in a good spot, because if they're winning games, they'll sit there and tell you, you know what, we told you that our goal is to win games this year. If they're not winning games, they'll tell you, well, I told you that our goal was to, have a transition year to give guys runway and to learn about guys. So it's they're in a spot where almost no matter what happens, they can say, yeah, this is kind of what we told you it was going to be.
So give me your thoughts on the rest of the division, minus the Pirates, because we know the Pirates are the Pirates, and until they're not, they are. And I'm not even going to count them as really any kind of a threat. We knew the Cubs would be better, and many picked them to win the division. Do we see the Cubs being this good?
Not as good as their record, and I don't think they are as good as their record. They've had the best record in the National League for a fair amount of time here recently. They're good. They're not that good. Obviously, they're a very good hitting team. Them bringing in Tucker, that's been a great pickup for him. He's got an OPS of close to 900. So I think the Cubs are the best team in the division. I don't think the Cardinals and the Brewers are that far back from them. I have big questions about Cincinnati's hitting and their lineup. I like what they have from a pitching standpoint, but it's kind of Ellie De La Cruz and everybody else from a hitting standpoint. Like you said, don't even mention the Pirates. But yeah, I think the Cubs are probably the best team in the division. But there's not a whole lot separating out 1 through 4 in this division right now.
What do you see in the Brewers that because obviously when they let Willy Adames go here, it becomes that Mr. Clutch sinkhole where they just don't have that extra guy, and I just don't know if outside looking in, if the Brewers are deemed as a threat this year.
Yeah, so first off, with Adames, I just feel so bad for him seeing what's going on with him right now in San Francisco, where he's hitting 200 and he's not playing every day. You think of a guy who really was the heart and soul of the Brewers in recent years and came up with those big hits. I know he made his money and good for him, but it feels like it would have worked out better if he would have stuck around in Milwaukee. I'm a big fan of what the Brewers do from a baseball operation standpoint. I think they are very good at getting the best of their players. Now, I will be the first to admit this feels a little bit different. I would say that on June 12th, 2025, I feel a lot worse about the Brewers than I've probably felt about them on June 12th of almost any other year in recent seasons. It feels like there's something missing here, but at the same time, they've got a phenom pitcher coming up today. Jackson Chourio. They're going to continue to make guys get better. And I think as long as they continue to kind of stick around, they could be a team that would go on that surprise run in the final month or so of the season.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for that team, whatever team that happens to be, whether it's the Brewers or the Cardinals or the Cubs, somebody's going to make that run that's going to separate themselves from everybody else and then pretty much end the division. I would assume it's going to you hope it happens before July. That way, if you're a buyer or seller, you know it. But I have a feeling it's going to come down the wire. Matt, always great to talk to you, man. I appreciate it. I will say hi to Lance Allen up here for you, and we'll talk again real soon, okay?
It sounds great anytime. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Bill. There you go. Matt Pauley. You can find him at Matt Pauley, Pauley, at Matt Pauley on air. He works at KMOX Radio, and he covers the St. Louis Cardinals, and always good to get a chance to pick his brain and chat with him for just a little bit. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at Birdie Boys, BOYZ, Birdie Boys Indoor Golf Facility, right there in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And if you, a day like today where you're out swinging the clubs, maybe you're swinging them great, and you want to keep that feeling and that momentum and that motion, good place to go practice. If you, day like today, you're outside, you're playing a little bit of golf and you're not hitting it good, it's a great place to go get your game right. Or a great place if you don't have a good game and you want to go work on it so you don't have to lose balls live and in person, you can also do it inside the simulators as well, or just go play indoor virtually some of the best courses in the world, not just in our own backyard, but in the world. That is Birdie Boys, BOYZ, BirdieBoysIndoorGolf.com, BirdieBoysIndoorGolf.com, right there on Pilot Court in Waukesha. Stick around. A couple of segments yet to go. We are broadcasting live in Rice Lake, Wisconsin, here at Turtleback Golf Course for the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Classic, which is underway and taking place right now as we speak. And great to talk to so many great celebs and hang out with them and bring you all the fun and frivolity along the way for listening all throughout the great state of Wisconsin and well beyond the borders as well. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
And as Pella goes into another windup, it's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years.
Pella also provides provides a free in-home consultation, which includes a no-obligation quote.
That's always a great play because working with one of Pella's design experts is such a wonderful, no-pressure get-together. I know this from experience.
With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the USA, you can get the look you want at a price you can afford.
And there's no reason to wait with this incredible deal going on.
Get no interest and no payment for up to 2 years.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. 6/30/2025.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes.
Check it. There we go.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes.
I said, why y'all do shit like that? Right. You know I'm terrible. And I won't play.
Right?
Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute.
Catch y'all on the next one. I'll catch y'all.
Well, if you like drive that hand.
Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, the Bill Michaels Show. We are live. We're in Rice Lake, Wisconsin. Turtleback Golf Course. Golf Classic. I'm going to do one more segment here and try to beat the rain, which is coming. And I'm sitting outside, kind of uncovered. So I'm going to let Grant take it coming up after we finish this. But Philip Zapp's joining us here at the table. And you're not only a guy that obviously has the Horned Frog shirt on, but you've seen Matthew Golden play a little bit. First of all, I asked you, I said, how you hitting them? And an honest man will always, the liars will say, I'm okay. I'm great playing golf.
No.
But you're like, I'm terrible.
No, I'm terrible. I'm awful golfer. I don't understand why they keep inviting me, but I love to play.
Yeah.
I love being out and enjoying the weather. The weather's always perfect, almost up here every year. And I just love it.
Yeah.
You know, I have to. My wife is on me about practice. I was like, come on, practice. I'm not.
Right.
Practice. I don't want to practice. I don't want to be that person.
You practice already in your life.
Well, that's what I tell her.
Yeah.
But that's,
you practice enough, man. So how you been, first and foremost?
I've been great. You know, little issues here and there, but you know, God's been good. I've really been blessed, and so I am awfully proud.
I ask everybody this, and I'll ask you the same thing, because nobody up here, I don't think, has perfect health.
Right.
After playing in the league.
No,
okay.
No way.
I was talking to Paul Krause a little earlier, and he's just like, I just found out I got a broken neck. Didn't know, you know. Would you do it all over again?
Oh, of course. I mean, long story, and I'll make it quick. My father always told me in high school, he's like, well, I sure hope that scholarship works out for you, because we were farmers.
Yeah.
Hope that scholarship work out, but because farming ain't gonna be your thing.
Right.
I said, well, you know, I better get to working out, you know, start running track and playing football at the same time. So it was a combination for me.
Yeah, and every guy says the same thing. Doesn't matter. Paul with a broken neck said, I do it again. You know,
I mean, it's the love of it. Not only the game, but the people you play with. These are lifelong memories, lifelong friends, and you know, people that you never forget. So it's part of your life.
And the cool thing was, and I think Tom Kozer said it best. He said, we get so involved, Democrats, Republicans, and everything. But last night, even Packers and Vikings could sit down at the same table and have a good time last night.
It's always you're a lot better down than you were then.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. But I did want to ask you, when you came up, you're like, look, that didn't seem a lot, but you know a little bit about Matthew Golden.
Well, I watched him, you know, before they moved to the Southwest Conference.
SEC.
I watched him at Big 12 a little bit. So I got to see him play quite a bit. Plus, being from Texas, we're going to follow each other regardless. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited for him. I'm excited for the team, because one thing he's going to get, he's going to show up.
Yeah.
So if you can show up every week and learn from people that he's around great people on his team.
Yeah.
He'll be great for us. I'm excited.
The one thing that I saw a theme with the Packers when they made the draft was guys. There's something to be said for football players. I used to work with Brian Noble, and Brian always told me, give me a football player over an athlete any day of the week.
Day of the week.
And a guy that's hungry, that wants to play the game. Because of whatever their upbringing, or they want to buy mom a house, whatever your reason is. Give me football players. And Matthew Golden seems to be that guy.
Yeah, man. He, like I said, I watched him, and the coaches counted on him. I could see that. They could see it. You know, he was there for them, showed up every game, basically. And the big games, he was there.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. It's what you want, especially in your first round. You want to come in and play. I mean, you know, all of them can't do it.
Yeah. And guys in the locker room know what kind of guy that is, too.
And I tell you who really knows, a quarterback.
Yeah.
Quarterback knows, right? Okay. This guy's going to be there. You know?
Yeah.
So
I've had guys over the years when we're in locker rooms, and guys, a draft choice will come in, and I've told this story before, where one of the defenders have looked at me. They drafted a defensive lineman, and he looked at me and went, he ain't got it. First rounder, they're already saying guy ain't got it, that type of thing. And that walking through the door.
We know. I mean, you just get excited when you get players, and the more players you get, the better your opportunities you get. And most guys are gonna be a team players, and that's the most important thing. You get team players. You get guys excited about being there and being in Green Bay and playing. So
tell me about a guy that is drafted, and he's going to be drafted for your position. He's coming in maybe a higher top 3 draft choice, so top 3rd round, and so how is that to handle knowing that you're the guy that could be on the way out?
Yeah, but if you're a competitor, that's what you want.
Yeah,
you want guys to come in. It's going to challenge you, because if they're not going to challenge you, your team's not going to be very good. So you want people that's going to push you, people that you're going to push and try to get better each day, each and every day. So competition. This guy from Texas, he gonna be ready to play.
Right.
He's gonna be competitive. He's gonna play. He's gonna show up when he's gonna be there. So,
and as a teammate, when somebody comes in and he's got your position, and then
hey,
what do you do?
If he's better than I am,
so be it.
So be it. But that's gonna be hard to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna put in the work.
Right.
He's gonna put in the work, and that's what. I know he's gonna put in the work.
Yeah.
If you put in the work, and God's given ability, he's gonna be there. He's gonna be there. I'll be looking for him if I'm number 10.
So last night, everybody shared memory stories, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When you get together with these guys and you start to talk, I mean, is there anything in particular that sticks out from the days, so to speak, when you start to think about? Because I know a lot of guys, you kind of take it for granted when you're in 20s. Like, it's gonna be around forever.
Well, for me, I was 12th round, and I came in and with James Lofton and John Jefferson, 2 All-Pros, perennial All-Pros, and only thing I could do is learn.
Right.
And I picked the system up pretty well, and with their help, of course. And I felt good when I went back to the huddle in afternoons with them guys, and they was, they'd be talking. You could hear the chat.
Yeah.
Say, hey man, just relax, keep doing what you're doing, you'll be fine. So, it was just great being a part of it with that at that time, and great players. When you're around great players, hey, you can't help but get better.
Right.
So I enjoyed it.
What was it like playing with Lofton?
Super excited.
Did you know he was that good when you?
I didn't because he was much older than I am. So, but John Jefferson from Texas, so
sure.
I had heard no. But once I seen Lofton ran track also.
Right.
So that's another thing. So that's what made me gravitate toward him, and I knew, I watched him from that. He's like I said, he was older than I was. So, but I don't know, man. Just then, those guys, being around those guys, and being participant, helping in with the team. Just wish we could have won more games, of course.
Right.
But it was exciting times.
Yeah.
One quick story. Then I'm gonna get out of here.
Go ahead,
man. Rookie year, I had I think I would be the 3rd receiver coming in the game, bringing in the play a lot of times. And the minute he gave me the play, I took 5 steps on the field, heading to the huddle to give Dickie the play. I forgot the whole play. I said, well, one thing I do know is my play.
Right.
So I gave him my play.
Right.
3rd and 10 or 3rd and 8 or something like that. And man, he said, you sure that's what he called? I said, yeah. I said, I couldn't forgot the play. He called the play. We made the first down. Go back to the sideline, Bob Snacker and the head coach. What the heck did you call?
Right.
Like, hey, we got a first down, coach. Let's go. So,
and coming to you, there's no way you could screw it up.
Hey, I was gonna screw it up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Bringing in that play,
oh my God.
being out of that pressure, rookie year. Like, hey, I gotta trying to remember everything that he.
Okay, real quick, tell me. I played golf with Lynn Dickey yesterday. Dude's ultra competitive.
Right.
I learned a whole new vocabulary yesterday.
Oh well.
What was it like if you screwed a play up and you had to go back to the huddle and listen?
You knew you screwed it up. He's like, what are you doing, man? Come on, can't say it on the But it was fun. I was excited because I know they was excited about having me.
Yeah.
And so I was. It was exciting.
That's fantastic. Philip, thanks for coming over, pal.
Appreciate
it very much, man. Best of luck to you. Hit them straight or best you can anyway.
Best I can. I'm a good putter, though.
Well, there you go. Use a couple of putts. Good stuff. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. I'm going to kick it over to Grant. It's getting darker over the horizon, so we're going to try to pack the equipment up and get on the move. But nevertheless, before I get out of here, thanks to Tom Kozer, who has done such a great job. I know he sold the cluster of radio stations up here, and Terry and Cliff are going to do great things with it up here, and hopefully keep the Bill Michaels Show on for a long, long time. But thanks to the staff and management over here at Turtleback, and Bruce has done such a great job. My buddy Packer Dave and Brian over here, who snagged the guests to come up on the deck and hang out with us. Thanks to, I can go through the whole list. I don't want to bore you, but just so many great people and such a fun time last night. And we look forward to coming back, and hopefully we do it all again next year. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, come back. Grant Bill's going to take you the rest of the way. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin